And we're live. Holy shit, that just happened. You didn't expect that to happen. We're live in the Soscast, episode 36. This is all about the sexual marketplace. And what is it, your body and your choice? I don't know. We're almost missing a body on today's episode. Tori, we almost had a hangover situation. We found Doug hungover in the hotel, top of the fucking roof. But we found her, and we're here. We have a sick episode of the Soscast coming to you for today. This is episode 36, only here on Valuetainment, the #1 channel for entrepreneurs in the world. That feels pretty damn good to say. Like, if you put in entrepreneur, boom, Valuetainment pops up. So shout out to all the entrepreneurs, the hustlers, the ballers, the people who are starting businesses, the workers, the scrappers, the hourly guys, all the entrepreneurs out there hustling. We're here for you. All right, so we got a panel of freaking studs and babes, experts, and Natalia here as well, looking good, to deliver value and some of that tainment that we like to talk about to you guys at home. So let me roll out what's basically happening today. Well, let's introduce our panel first. Let's start with Rollo. This is, I think, your fourth or fifth time here on Valuetainment.
I can't even remember.
But
February.
I want to thank you. I want to give you two shout-outs. Thank you for bringing some friends here today.
Of course.
Thank you. You brought Justin, and Tori's back. Torsha's back. But also, author, The Rational Male.
Right.
What edition is this?
Fifth edition.
Fifth edition.
It's the Player's Handbook. It's the last one in the series. And by the way, people keep asking me this. Or you're not going to do it? You're not going to write anymore? I'm like, no, dude, I'm going to write. It's the end of the series. It's okay, really. I'm still going to be an author.
He's still going to be writing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and give us a little highlights of what happened with the book so far.
So far, for the initial release and up through like the first 2.5 weeks, it was the #1 bestseller on Amazon.com.
Sick.
And pushing off a book called Why Women Love Bitches by Sherry something or other. I can't remember.
Why Men Love Bitches or
Why Men Love Bitches.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was very satisfying to push her off, at least for a very brief time. But it was a #1 bestseller, not the #1 new release. I think people you got to clarify terms there, because Amazon, by the way, owns something like 88% of the publishing market these days. So it's a lot different to get that than even say the New York Times, because the New York Times is the New York Times.
Respect, bro.
Yeah. So
author. And so we got Tori here. She's back. She killed it on the last one.
Yeah.
We barely found her. We were very worried. We put out a search party. All APB.
We're gonna give you grief.
But we got you.
Yeah.
You're definitely looking great. How do you feel to be back, Tori?
I feel amazing. Thanks for having me back, Adam.
Yeah. By popular demand, I may add.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a first.
There's a couple people that got a crush on you in the office.
No way.
Yeah, but we'll deal with that later.
Is it Rob?
Rollo, Is it Rob?
Or Machete?
Machete.
Hey.
So, Rollo, you've been telling me about Justin for at least a few weeks now. For like months now. But he just moved to Miami. Justin, introduce yourself, bro.
Justin Waller. That's my name. From Louisiana. Have a YouTube channel, Instagram, some websites, some businesses.
It's a fine Southern gentleman. Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So I've been on Fresh and Fit a couple times. Like I said, I have my own channel, so we're just growing.
What's the name of the channel?
It's just Jay Waller. So
Jay Waller.
Covering everything
in
business.
The house. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but now you're in Miami.
I am in Miami. Me and Sterling Cooper have a place there in Midtown.
Well, welcome, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome. And make sure we have all the links for these guys in their YouTube channels below. Rational Male.
Easy.
Torshaa.
Torshaa, 2 A's, and Jay Waller. And who's this? I brought my friend right here.
You brought yours. Okay.
I brought Fosh. This is my friend. Fosh,
hey guys.
you might remember she's been on a couple episodes already.
Yes.
She just got her real estate license.
Yes.
I believe in personal news, you got engaged recently.
I did.
That's awesome. And what else is going on with you?
What else? I'm really into fitness, so I guess you can say that. And then I also want to start doing my YouTube again. It was a point in time where I was doing my YouTube, and then I stopped. But now I want to get back into it, so I'm getting back into it.
Well, I know a couple people that are good at YouTube that can probably point you in the right direction. Yeah. Let's get those things up there. All right, let's jump into this freaking episode today. A lot going on. We're going to be pulling up pictures, pulling up articles. Things are going to be flying in. Let's just brace for impact is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you have not subscribed to Valuetainment, if you have not subscribed to Valuetainment Money, smash that shit, like that thing. What do you say, Tori?
You say have sex with the like button, and
Have
I think
sex with the like button.
No, you say it. I think you should keep that.
I think
you said it, and I was like, now I say it.
Go ahead and have sex with that like button. But you said something last time. What did
If you don't like the video, your mom's a hoe.
I mean, that's just.
I feel like I've heard that.
You do not want your mom to be a hoe.
I started that.
Okay,
Unless she is.
so like the video and subscribe. So a lot going on in the days, and basically what a theme that we're going to kind of be covering today is your body, what you do with your body, your choice, abortion, who you have sex with, who you sleep with, what you put in your body, how do you party, do you do drugs, you know, the money element of like spending, saving, doing all that about your body. So lot in that capacity that we're going to be talking about today. But everyone has their own decisions. I totally believe you can do whatever you want with your body. Some people, some governments are saying, no, you've got to put this in your body, or you got to not take that out of your body. So we're going to have that conversation today. But the first thing I want to get right into, smack dab in the middle, is with our good friend Jordan Peterson. You see his autograph right here? I believe it's right over my head. Good friend of the show. Michaela Peterson, she'll be on soon. We're working on that. But these are friends of ours. But he's been making some news right now about what he's basically talking about on Twitter with the Sports Illustrated cover models. So here's what Jordan Peterson had to say about this new Sports Illustrated cover model. I believe her name is Yumi Nu. Is that her name? Yes. Okay. And what did he say? He goes, sorry, not beautiful, and no amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that. She's a pretty girl, but she's a little bit of a bigger gal. Voluptuous, some may say.
Fat.
You're going with fat.
Fat.
Go ahead. You don't think she's attractive?
I think she's pretty, but she's fat.
She's pretty
unhealthy.
fat.
Yeah.
She's pretty fat.
Oh my
pretty
God.
fat, yeah.
Okay. Break
It's
this
true,
down.
though.
Break
It
this
is.
down. Tori,
true.
go ahead. Your first thing is she's
You
fat.
want me to body shame her?
Go ahead.
I don't want to get canceled.
Who do you want? Who
What's
would
your
you-
first impression? What's your first impression?
First impression, like just unhealthy, I guess. I don't know.
Is there another picture of her?
I'm so used to it now.
You're used to what?
Like seeing bigger girls like that. You don't see Victoria's Secret angels or any of that anymore. You only see girls. I think they're like being toyed by
Yeah,
these companies. Like they're using them like they're clowns. It's a joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're trying to like normalize not being healthy.
Yeah.
That's not cool. I don't like that. But can I speak on the Jordan
Go
Peterson
ahead. I know
thing?
you're a big fan of Jordan Peterson, are you
I
not?
do. I think that he's like very smart, and he has a lot of like informative things to say. But saying that on Twitter, and he has a huge platform. I mean, I don't think that's necessary to say. Like, you can't say sorry, not beautiful. I mean, you can say it, but I think it's like very rude to say.
Why?
I think it's rude because, like, in his eyes, okay, she's not beautiful, but in other people's eyes, she could be beautiful. You get what I'm saying? Like, beauty is not just all the time just a superficial thing. Like, oh, you have to have the perfect.
You're
It
saying
is.
beauty is?
It technically is. If
Go
you
ahead.
break-
What do you mean by that?
There's like the golden ratio. So technically, if you had, I think it's in like threes. I did a video on this a long time ago. Technically, everybody can recognize if somebody has good genes or not. So
Facial symmetry.
yeah, facial
body
symmetry.
type.
mathematical.
It's a
mathematical.
real thing, and people think that that's like, oh, people can't detect that when meeting somebody. It's like, no, we can. It's inside of us. We can all find out if somebody has good genes, but the way that he's saying not beautiful, he's trying to promote that that's not something girls should look up to.
That's
like,
true.
I don't know.
Which means he could be saving lives by saying that.
yeah, like
That's
this
true
is how.
too. I mean, I get it, but the way he's going about saying that is not right. I don't think.
How
He
should
could have
he have-
definitely said it
how
a
should he have
different
worded
way.
it?
Like, he could have said something like, I don't necessarily approve of this because it shows like an unhealthy body image. He can say something like that. But to just go and say like not beautiful on his platform, I think that's not smart on his part.
And you're a fan of Jordan Peterson. You're just not a fan of this comment.
I am. I'm a huge fan of him, but I don't think that was like a thing to say unless he's like trying to do some like publicity stunt.
It's a magazine.
you know?
It's media.
Jordan Peterson doesn't need a publicity stunt.
That's-
put it
that's
that way. He
true.
doesn't.
Okay.
He
That's true.
has such a large following. He has such a large, a passionate fan base. There's no real reason to do this, with the exception of the fact that it generates interest. It generates buzz. I recently put a joke on. I didn't even put a picture attached to it. I said nothing generates like engagement like no fat chicks. That you put something like that to that effect on Twitter, and it'll blow up. It'll go viral, just because that's where we're at right now. And I was going to tell you this is sort of a sign of the times right now, and I don't mean that in the sense that it's when we look at the obesity rates right now in the United States, or even just being overweight, 75% of the American population is overweight. 40% of women in the United States are morbidly obese. That is morbidly obese. And so to say this is beautiful, whatever, it normalizes the idea that this is the norm. This is what you're going to see.
Well, does it say this is beautiful, or is she just on the front of the
cover?
cover?
No, but that's the conversation it's meant to provoke.
Why is it that a skinny girl has a cover like that and she's called a slut, but a fat girl does it and she's inspirational?
That's a very good point right there. Let me. Okay, you're saying a skinny girl goes on the cover.
She's a slut.
She's a slut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and it's always the fat girls in the comment section calling her a slut. It's never men. It's always women. So I don't know. It's a
men
weird
too, I think.
No, it's not. A man will never. A man wants a slut. He just wants her to be his slut.
True that.
He'll never.
But there are definitely some insecure men who see like hot chicks on the internet, and they're like, "Oh, you're a slut. You're a whore," and blah blah blah. And it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, but they're salty.
Who cares?
So,
They can't
Why, Justin? Why do you think they're salty? Go ahead.
I think they're salty because they don't get attention from a woman like you.
I agree.
So,
I definitely agree with that.
And it's the same reason that a non-attractive girl needs badly for you to be called a bitch.
Yeah.
Whether you are or you're not.
I'll tell you why these guys are mad. It's like they're told not to sexualize women while women are objectifying themselves on the internet, and then women are telling them no, and guys are like, well, why can't I get with this girl? So women are so entitled, and they put these guys down in rejection. So that's the reason why. And so they end up. Never mind. I won't go there.
Go there. What do you mean?
No,
Well,
I don't want to
women
say.
have
What don't you want to say? Tori, we're here because we want to get some answers.
Women have a higher standard of physical beauty than men do.
Men are told not to objectify women. Women continuously objectify themselves. They say, don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't do this. There's like new laws that say if you even approach a woman, you can be arrested for harassment in other countries. Did you know that?
No. What country?
In the UK, for example, it's
it's big.
So what are the reasons for these laws?
Crime.
Is it an overstretch? Is it overreach? What do you think is happening right here?
Why are they doing it? Probably because women got together and said, I don't want this in the moment. They weren't, I don't know. Sometimes I think, well, I won't say that either.
Well, let me ask you, ladies here.
Yeah.
Do you like you guys are attractive women.
If I don't get catcalled.
Hold on. Guys must come up to you consistently. Yeah. And some are creepier, some are not creepier, some are, I assume, gentlemen, some are complete assholes, but they talk to you. Do you view that as a compliment? Is it annoying? How do you perceive that?
I think it's definitely both. It can be like, it's a compliment, of course, because if men aren't approaching you, then, I guess that means you're probably not attractive. Unless you're going to go, like, approach a man. Why would you want to do that? So, of course, they're going to come talk to you. But, like, I don't see that as a huge problem. I really don't.
When men come to talk to you?
Yeah,
not
like,
a problem.
I don't think so, unless it's, like, it starts to be like, it's like, oh, you're trying to be like on some creepy shit.
It's all it's all based on sex. Like they want to have sex with you, even the ones that are nice to you.
Yeah.
So it just means they have good game, right?
More or less. I mean,
if you don't have them approaching, and you're the one that has to approach, you're setting yourself up to be with a guy that's going to be beta.
Very few women will approach a guy.
And they'll divorce them, for sure.
Break that down. You're saying that if a girl approaches the guy, what's going to happen?
So I've talked about this a lot, because this is what I used to do, is if I liked a guy, I gave him my number, I would date him. I'm like, if I want it, I have it type thing. But So what I figured out was if I do that, I end up leading in the relationship inevitably, because it's the first encounter. If the guy doesn't have the balls to approach me, he's probably not alpha, or probably isn't assertive enough to the point where I would have genuine desire for him.
And then what happens in the relationship?
I end up using him, or I can't look up to him. He's like repulsive to me.
Because he's not the alpha and taking charge, you're saying?
And it doesn't even have to be alpha, but assertive traits, like some traits. It's not like a full, like alpha, I think, is a placeholder term, but I'm talking about traits. Like, you have to have a mix of both, you know?
Rollo, as the intersexual dynamics expert here, break down what she's saying.
Well, I mean, women cannot look up to a man that they don't admire. They can't look up to an equal. They can't look up to somebody who is. When they meet him, he's one way, and when they get together with him, he becomes something else.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it triggers this existential fear in women that like the guy tricked them. Like you came off as looking like Justin Waller, and you're very high value and very alpha and everything. And then once you get into that relationship, then the guy turns very passive. Oh, I'm vulnerable and I'm emotional.
No.
Goes really emotional, and it's like it's really a form of buyer's remorse almost. It's like buyer's regret at that point, and it's triggering to women because that remorse is attached to their reproductive, solving the reproductive problem. So if she gets into a relationship with a guy who sells himself as being like sort of an alpha male guy, and then later on becomes beta, then it's like, oh my God, I got tricked, and I might actually have this guy's babies. How am I going to get out of this? And then there's also the investment cost that goes into that as well. Yeah. So spending time with that guy, developing a relationship with that guy, having sex with that guy, whatever it ends up being, you've got like three months in, maybe a year in, and you go, oh my God, he's actually not like that. He's really kind of
fraud.
He pussed out at the
But what's wrong with that? If you date a guy for a month or two and it just doesn't work out, you're not marrying this guy.
No,
what's the problem?
No, but there's
different
only a
for
short
you.
amount of time where women are at their sort of their peak potential at that time, and they're trading that off for like saying, okay, I'm going to put some time and energy and investment into this guy. And if it turns out that he's not the guy that's ready for he's not a good long-term prospect because he sold himself as one thing and then he became something later on. Like that's the number one thing that guys will hit me up about is they'll say, Rollo, how do I get the frame back? I was so alpha when we were dating and then we got married and now I lost the frame and she has no respect for me and I'm in a sexless marriage or whatever and she wants babies but I don't know if we should give her babies and so it's like he was one thing when he was single and he becomes something else when he's married.
What do you tell them when they lose this frame?
They need to get back in touch with that what was it that made them different when they were single than they are when they're married. And then also it's like they need more polarity in the relationship. Healthy relationships are not based on like commonalities or compatibility or open communications. It's based on polarity. Likes do not attract. Opposites attract.
Even in the most egalitarian countries, they end up falling into gender roles. Like they choose to do that, the women and the men. So that's
in the most egalitarian. What is that? Scandinavian countries?
Yeah.
What are the most? Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson's talked about that.
And what happens in these
so
countries?
Like in the countries where women and men are the most equal you can be, women end up falling into like the nurturing role inevitably, and men go into like a more masculine role.
Isn't that just like the reversion to the mean? You just go into your natural habitats?
It makes us
natural
more
sexual dimorphism.
Yeah, it's like the more egalitarian a country is, the more that you will be. What is it? The differences are exacerbated between.
So where's
the
America
sexes.
in that?
We're not the most egalitarian country in the world. That's
No,
why.
we're fighting.
That's why they always look at like say Denmark and Scandinavia and like Norway and stuff like that as being the most egalitarian countries. And so that what that is meant. The reason why they go there is because the gender parity, like you've heard of equality of opportunity. Both men and women can be anything they want to in those countries, and women tend to default to what we would consider more conventionally feminine jobs and roles and that kind of stuff.
But what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
There's
nothing at all.
But it shows you that even when you make things equal, even if you make things equal, women will still.
It is right there. You're saying if you can try all you freaking want to make us exactly the same and exactly equal, but no, it doesn't work that way.
It is equality of outcome, right? In
we try to make that's the. You want to know the difference between those countries and this?
Yeah, go ahead.
We concentrate on equality of outcome rather than equality of opportunity here.
Well, in some of the countries, the outcome there is equality of outcome, and that's where it's like stupid economy wise because you have a teacher making the same as a doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like women will
socialism.
still
Ridiculous.
choose those.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Jobs.
Are we the only country that highlights stuff like this? Are there any other countries that got
that's hard to say.
Big girl on the cover?
For sure.
Western.
We're the only country that does that.
Western, yeah.
I would say
America and Western countries.
Maybe the UK.
We're a joke overseas. We're a joke.
No, we really are though.
You believe that America's a joke because of this, or what?
Well, no, I think in general America comes off as a joke. Like when it comes to like politics, like some of the things, like there's no filter sometimes with stuff. And on top of that, when
But
it
isn't
comes
that
to,
what free speech is? Isn't that good?
Yeah, it is. But like when you look at other countries, they have like very strict things in place. Like they're a lot more strict, a lot more conservative. Like I love America. I'm not saying that I don't, but I'm just saying like that makes other people look at us like, what the fuck are they doing? Like they just let anything go.
Can you break down the conservative part? I think you were going somewhere with that. That was good.
Like they're more, I guess you can say traditional, like family values, like what you were saying, like the man is the leader and women, they follow. You know what I'm saying? Like here in America, like you can just do whatever you want.
Reverse.
Like it's basically the reverse. Like
It's encouraged to be the reverse.
Yeah, like how in your opinion, how would you tell our men to man up now, and our women to be more
that's
feminine?
a good question. Man
As a
up.
society.
I would tell men to be stronger in their leadership.
That's abuse. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if they told you that's abusive, what would you say?
What's abusive?
Men try to get back into the leadership role, but they end up being abusive and they get canceled or
What? Like I don't understand that. Abusive,
Okay.
like how?
So if you were a guy, how would you let's role play. So
Okay.
So
Role play time. Go ahead.
yeah,
ladies.
okay. So if a guy was being a weak bitch, okay?
Oh my
that
God.
you're going to be a weak bitch, but now how would you get more masculine? Just what would you do? Also, I'm not debating with you. I just think this
Make
is
more
really-
money, thanks.
How would you make more money?
You would say just make more money. That's how they would get more masculine. What do you
How?
mean?
I think so. Like, do something in leadership and make money. Like, I really
Yeah.
feel like that's really it.
Yeah.
And like, don't let people walk all over you. I don't know what better way to put that. Like, be assertive, have something to show for yourself, be a leader, and make an income. Like,
Man up is what you're saying.
yeah, I feel like that's what men do.
Justin,
you
go
know?
ahead. Weigh in on this topic.
Justin,
Yeah,
this is your topic here.
Where are you in on this? On manning up.
Run
bro.
with it.
Where do you want me to start?
How do you tell?
Where do you want to start? Go.
How do you tell women to be more feminine without them getting offended?
If you're actually acting the way you're supposed to, you won't have to. You can take the same woman. If a man walks up to you, man A, you actually like him, and man B walks up to you and you don't like him, you're going to respond completely different. One of those guys are going to be creepy, one of them is going to be charming. So in regards to how a man should act with a woman, if a man is acting how a man should act, then the woman is not going to have a problem getting into that role. Women respect men they love, period.
That's
the
true.
end. So if you can't respect me, you can't love me.
Yeah.
I agree. I kind of want to talk on like this thing, like, you know how some women, they come across as very like masculine, like
Right.
they want to be
All of
like,
us are.
Right.
they want to be
Arguably.
like they want to be like the man in the relationship. Like,
Until they meet the right man.
even the most masculine,
even the
most masculine woman, you think that
It's
a man like can be like, okay, this is what you need to do.
I think that if she wants to fall inside that and she really respects and looks up to him, then absolutely yes.
If he's willing to leave you.
And on top of that, I think that you can take a woman that has traditionally been masculine, and then boom, she runs in the wall of the right guy, and it's over.
train.
Have you ever dated a super like alpha female, makes her own money, don't need no man, kills it?
Man, I flip them all the time, man.
Really?
I flip them all the time.
What do you mean? Break that
That's
down.
one of my
He's
favorite
willing
things.
to
How do you
leave.
flip an alpha woman?
That's one of my favorite things to do. They sit down, they want to start telling you how much money they make and all this nonsense, and I'm like, well, that's cute,
Yeah.
sweetheart. But by the end of the date, they're like, yeah, you know what? They'll flip their script.
What do you do?
Man, just be me.
Okay.
That's it. Unapologetically. I'll tell her things that she doesn't want to hear. I don't care.
You have to
Give me an
willing to
example.
leave.
Yeah, so she'll be like, are you seeing other people? Yes. Plenty of them. They're pretty. You
Okay.
might like this blonde I've been seeing. I mean, just tell them, man.
And then and if she's like, oh my God, you're gross. Well, how do you respond?
They don't.
They
Really?
don't.
They don't because
wanna
they
compete.
already subconsciously know you see other women. So they respect the
But
truth.
that's fine on a first date, not the 12th date.
I'll tell you, I was dating this girl for a long time. We're driving down the road, and she was telling me about how she left her fiance because he cheated on her. I said, no, you didn't. And she told me a week later, she said, I was mad at you. But when you said you didn't break up with him because he cheated, you broke up with him because he was too much of a coward to admit it.
Yep.
That's
So-
why she left.
So that's a very important part. Is she more upset about the cheating or the lying?
The lying, because he's a
Yeah.
coward. Because every woman knows deep down, any man that is on any kind of level has women that want him. Period. And I'm not saying what he should do. I'm just simply saying I don't think she left so much because of his action, so much as his cowardness of running from her and not leaning into what the facts of the matter was. Because everybody knows that if you took every man in the world and you said, listen, you can hit this button and sleep with as many women as you want, but you get to go home every night and love your wife, hold her, be a good father, be a good man. All you have to do is hit this button and everything will be fine, and you can do that and the other thing. Every man would look left, look right, and be like, boop, he'd hit that button. He would hit the fucking button,
have your cake and eat it too, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But would you ladies put up with that?
A man that truly loves you would never let you find out.
I was just gonna.
I mean, I don't even know what that means.
I was-
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I didn't-
Respect.
No.
Let me
You
say.
can check his
I
phone. What
was
are you
gonna
talking
say-
about?
Respect her enough.
Yeah.
Respect her enough not to embarrass her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the number one
Okay.
thing. He
That's
he
great in
slipped.
fantasy land, guys. But
It's
she's
no.
gonna. If she's.
mean-
Speak for yourself, cowboy.
Where are you hanging out with this? What happens if a friend sees you out with another date with another girl?
Again, if he really loved her,
Above
Yeah.
board.
he would not let her find out. Whether that's staying at home, I don't like staying at another place. He wouldn't be
So
stupid
it's
enough
just
to
the
do that.
finding out
It's
part.
kind of like
So
Go ahead.
yeah,
It's kind of like what I don't know can't really hurt me.
You're okay with that?
yeah.
I don't want to necessarily
Okay,
say
so
I'm
let's-
okay with
Yeah.
that. But
Let's-
like,
women-
if I
she
don't know
can't.
about it,
She
how can I
can't.
be
All
mad
she-
about something that I don't
Exactly.
know about?
That's
All she
literally
can
what I
really
say.
do
Yeah.
is kind of know and not leave.
Yeah.
You're never going to have a woman say, okay, go do it.
Yeah.
But you're also going to have a woman not leave you.
But
Okay.
men,
That
like women should.
women don't want a man to cheat, but they love a man who could cheat.
Yeah.
Boom! There it is.
Yeah.
Do you ladies agree?
They love it, but because no
We'll
woman wants to
never
be
say yes
no one,
to that.
No woman
But
wants
do
to
you
be
agree with
another
what
guy.
Rollo just said?
Women will never be honest and say yes
Well, let
to
me give
that.
you. Let me
But
give
do you
an-
agree with that?
Yes,
You
deep
do.
down. But
so
like,
bottom line
no.
is women want a man who
Could
does
cheat.
not cheat but could cheat.
Women
Do you
want
agree?
women want a man who other women want to
Want.
fuck and
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
guys want to
I-
be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely want to be with a man who I feel like other women would want because that shows that he is in a leadership position or
Yeah.
he's like, he's other women want him. So it's kind of like I want my man, other women want him. That makes him attractive to me.
And there's no double standard here. Meaning, your girl couldn't do the same thing, right, Justin?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
And
So you
let me
can,
add-
but she can't.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me add something. Let me add something else to
Go
that.
ahead, bro.
So in that situation, this is what I would tell a girl. I said, so you caught me. Okay, cool. So you're gonna leave me for a man you love less than me, that will absolutely cheat on you anyway.
They all do.
If he can get away with it, and so you're gonna be in love less, and he's gonna do it. And the only difference is he's a coward, and I'll tell you the truth.
So where do you draw the line? Where does the cheating stop? Where does the you know what I'm saying? All right. Hypothetical, bro. You're a pimp ass dude. You're making a ton of money. Hey, baby, if you want to roll with me, you're gonna have to deal with this. I won't embarrass you. I'm gonna do our thing. I'm gonna respect you. Whatever I do when I'm out traveling, doing my thing. But I'm gonna come home and love you. Okay. Let's say there's a dude a little bit. Let's just hypothetically say that you're a 10, right? Can an 8 guy do it?
He
Who
is
makes
a 10.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm playing a role play, and a guy who makes kind of decent amount of money.
Yeah.
He's kind of good looking.
I think he
He's
can.
kind of swap. He could do it too.
Yeah, he might not be able to do it with one of these two girls.
Okay.
But I mean, if he lives in Indiana and she's a strong 7, yeah, cowboy.
Hey, we've got a lot of valutators in Indiana. We love you guys.
Yeah, no, and he should be happy with that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
He should be happy with what?
with his harem of 7s in Indiana.
Yeah, women find most men
Kareem.
unattractive.
All right. So just to put the button on this conversation with this lady right here,
Oh yeah.
does she deserve to be on the cover? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely not.
There's no agreement that she should be on the cover.
I'll say no, and I say the reason for that is because the reason she's on there and not, I mean, Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition made its name on the fact that they've had nothing but stunningly hot women on there that were bikini swim. That's
Okay.
how. That's the only reason most guys had a subscription to Sports Illustrated in the first
That's
place
it.
Like
back in
the
the day.
hottest.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of like, putting her on there normalizes the idea that beauty is, because that's why Peterson got in a lot of hot water about this, and he knew damn well what he was doing.
He dropped the bomb in there. He knew exactly what was going on.
It's about is it's so it's the normalization thing, because as I said, statistically speaking, 75% of the U.S. population is overweight. But what it's also doing is it's saying that beauty is actually objective and not subjective, and that's the problem. That you want to know why
it's
that causes
hypocrisy.
such outrage is because people say, well, she's beautiful and beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's subjective. It's this. Like, no, it is not.
Yeah.
Let me.
That looks like a Lane Bryant ad.
Well, and then so what's
like.
saying is that beauty's a social construct, and it's like beauty is not a social construct, because if it were, for men, men have a larger pool of what makes them aroused and everything else, but that the idea of beauty, like this is something that we should promote in some as opposed to something else, that's saying that social constructionism is a thing. It's trying to reinforce social construction.
Is it fair to say that Jordan Peterson is basically saying, I don't care how much you want to force this down my throat, she's not hot.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Look, there's, I don't know if
we'll go the healthy route.
Yeah.
We'll say, oh, well, she's not healthy. That's not, healthy.
She's big
body
boned.
positivity, and it's like that has nothing. Like when I see that argument, I'm like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Just say this is based on social. This is on subjectivity and relativity as opposed to empirical data and objective realism. Let's look at this.
Well, let me ask you.
Most men would not find that attractive.
Just how Jordan Peterson dropped a truth bomb out there. All right, let's see what happens. I don't know if it was like, trying to rattle the cage of the people, but let's see if Sports Illustrated, if they knew what they were doing. You know that she wasn't the only one on the cover. Did you guys know that?
I'm sure.
So there were 4 different covers. Let's play.
Girls?
No. One of them was arguably the most famous woman in the world, Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
Pull that up. Looks good. Controversial. We can talk about that. The third girl was Ciara, who's married to quarterback Russell Wilson, 1-2 Step, music singer. And then how about this one? May Musk. Do you know who this lady is?
Elon Musk's
This is
mom.
Elon Musk's mom.
I'm surprised they didn't put
she?
Paulina Porzakova on there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
she's the
she wasn't.
oldest
The golfer?
No,
model.
she was married to Rick Ocasek. She was just in the news not too long ago.
Gotcha.
She's trying to be a supermodel again.
How old is she?
Over
Just put in
60.
May Musk. I think she's about to be 70 something. May
the
Musk
oldest.
age.
She looks better than the fat girl.
She's the oldest.
She's 74
model.
years old.
Yeah.
Justin, you think she looks better than the big girl?
Yeah, I think she deserves to be
Wait,
on
so
there more than the
the-
big
Let's
girl.
see some.
She looks
Really?
great.
Yeah.
though.
So hold on, bro.
Wait.
Hold on. We're okay. We're talking about objective versus subjective.
That's crazy.
Some people are going to say, look, with all due respect, Mr. Waller,
Yeah.
I'd rather have the bigger girl who's young and hot than the old 74-year-old lady.
I guess if we're defining the girl on the cover being a girl you want to sleep with, maybe. Yeah. But as far as deserves to be on there, worked hard to take care of herself her entire life and isn't fat, yeah, I put her in front of the previous girl.
Do you ladies agree
I
that-
respect this woman more.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All
You respect
I-
her more.
Yes, absolutely.
All I see is that we have a fat girl, we have an older woman, we have who else? Sierra. What do we call her? Like
She's a mommy. She was a single mommy when she met
looks
Russell
great.
Wilson.
Wait.
She's a
She looks
star.
great.
Wait,
She's a star,
She's the one that kind of got the beta guy, right?
Well,
I
Russell
don't think
Wilson.
he's a beta.
Hold on. It was
And then what would you call Kim Kardashian?
she.
Go one by one.
Yeah,
What's
no,
Kim?
she's like promoting that you can have both sides. I don't want to say hypergamy, but you can get a guy that an alpha guy to have your kids. She got that
Kanye,
part. Yeah.
yeah.
She got he's talented. Like
No doubt.
having those genes is very good. Then you have her dumping him for somebody younger.
I
Like,
have a question. Why is Kanye alpha and Russell Wilson is not?
That's a good question.
I think Kanye's getting a red. He
I
has
think-
gone
I
through his
think
red
he's
pill
going
moments
through it,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think he always led the relationship. You could tell by I don't know their relationship.
Well, that's
but
what
I think
everybody-
Kris Jenner led that relationship.
Everyone throws that at me all the time. They'll say,
But
"Well, how
the-
can you possibly say that like Russell Wilson's not alpha? How can you not say?"
Because he allows
Or how
him-
can you say that? Even Elon Musk. Like when I say Elon Musk is very much a beta, and people are like,
Unfortunate.
"He's the richest man in the world. How dare you say that?" I'm go, "Well, that doesn't make that's no insurance against him getting. I don't know how many baby mamas does he have now? Grimes is one of them. He just got out of that thing. We talked about that on this
of course,
show
of
not
course.
too long ago.
I bet you Sierra will dump him in the next coming 5 years.
You
5
think
or
Sierra's
seven.
going to dump him?
think so?
I think so. I don't want to say that. I don't
You realize
think
everyone in the chat is writing things down. Okay, she said that.
I know.
Let's tell you, what's
Let's
the
see if
chat
she's right in the
saying?
next
I
5
want to
years.
know.
Money can't buy frame.
But Kim is.
Kanye's beta is what they're saying.
Yeah, that's
I don't
how
know,
they
bro.
want to make
Can the
it
most
seem
talented hip hop
like-
artist of all time arguably
Well,
be beta?
Listen.
Alpha is a mindset. It's not a demographic. I get Alpha. Russell Wilson on the field, on the playing field, very much so. When he's dealing with women, very much passive, very much standoffish, very much a beta in the sense that he's getting with Ciara, who's already sort of used goods. Let's just be honest here. And then you've got Elon Musk, who is the richest guy in the world, and people go, "Oh, well, he's got money, so that makes him alpha." Well,
No.
it makes him good in that area. But then when you look at his personal life and you look at his marriages and everything else, Amber Heard was
No.
with him, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
He was very much a beta when it comes to the women. He's alpha in his decision making and making.
So you're saying you
Twitter
could be
and
both,
everything else.
business-wise.
Look
Well,
at it.
it's a mindset rather than like just this, this is,
Huh.
it's either, well, the money makes him alpha. Well, okay, well, he's
Will
a
Smith.
quarterback. That makes him,
Will Smith,
is
look at how his life got
Is
turned
Will Smith- is Will Smith
upside
alpha?
down.
Yeah.
Right?
Just sit right
because
there.
of the relationships. That's
Okay.
how big of a
So
deal.
my
Go ahead,
thing-
Fosh.
My thing is, okay, so Kanye is, from what you're saying, I'm not going to say either man is like alpha or beta, but from what you're saying, Kanye is alpha.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he has some traits that in the beginning of their relationship you could put in the category. Alpha is like a placeholder term for assertive.
Do you think that Kim Kardashian lost respect for him as
Absolutely.
as Jay was saying?
Absolutely.
Fosh, I feel like you want to say something on this. Don't
trying
ask
to
questions. Make your
I'm
comment.
trying to
Go
get
ahead.
back to what my thoughts were, but I kind of wanted to talk about like,
The difference.
so it's like if a man is, so this is how I feel like I define alpha men in my mind. So if you have other men who look up to you, and I think that's kind of like an alpha trait. So I feel like Russell Wilson has that. He's like the quarterback, and he's like really good at what he does. But he's good to his wife. So it's kind of like, I don't really see that as a beta thing.
I don't know. The only thing that I remember is the video of her dancing with like a bottle on her head or something in a sexy outfit. This is true, right? Yeah. And her putting that on Instagram while she's with Russell, like that's weird.
Well, and then they're supposed to be like really like evangelical Christians on top of that.
But do you know
What?
who? Do you know
No
who
way.
Ciara's ex is?
Future.
Future, the rapper. I mean, that
Yeah.
guy's a pretty gangster ass dude,
the-
right?
so what are the similarities between her and like Jada Pinkett Smith?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tupac.
What are they?
Tupac.
Okay.
Is in the past. Well, August Alsina.
So basically, what you're
Imprinted
saying,
on.
if I could break that down, once you're with a thug,
And
you
then-
kind of get some thug qualities, and like your new man, whether it's freaking quarterback, all-pro Russell Wilson, or biggest Hollywood movie star on the planet, Will Smith.
Russell Wilson
you're gonna step up and you're gonna be like,
represents
you're gonna
long-term
follow my lead.
Yep.
Go
I
ahead.
would argue that
Yeah.
both of those ladies, if they could have grabbed the rapper, they would have.
Yeah.
And now they're both set up to be alpha widowed.
Yeah.
And they're both set up to have resentment towards the nice guy and act on that. Jada's
Yeah.
But
done it.
it's like,
Maybe
why would-
Sierra might. Who
Hold
knows?
on, hold on. Before, break that down, please. What do you mean? If they could have got the rapper, they could have got.
Yeah,
Jada
so-
Pinkett dated Tupac. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if
Ciara
Tupac would
was
have
with
settled
Future.
down,
Yeah.
if Tupac would have settled down, she would have took that deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't. She went and essentially got a choir boy who was also very, very high level. He's very, very good. But what I say about money and everything else is like you have buckets that fill up, and you can't buy a frame. I say all the time, I would never trade places with Zuck. The dude's a dork. He's a fucking dork.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
With you.
And so there's no way that he's keeping his frame right at home.
Frame is game.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
have to have, and
Frame
you
is
should
important.
game your wife. And another thing I
Yeah.
would say to that is just because you have the right frame and the things that I've said doesn't mean that you're not good to your wife. That does not mean that at all. You should
Yeah.
treat her incredibly. It's just that you should have that dissonance between you because if she can't respect you and look up to you in some way, she can't find there's no polarity.
I see what you're saying, because basically you're saying, I don't give a shit how much billions you have.
Right, you
You're
can't
still a
buy it.
freaking dork, Zook.
Yeah, you can't
Okay, I
fucking
ain't
buy
trading
it.
places with you.
Yeah, I would never.
I might have a couple $1,000,000. You might have a couple $1 billion.
Exactly.
You're still a dweeb, buddy.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
beat it, geek.
And the money can only take you so far, right?
Yeah.
it.
And so that's what I would say about any of those guys in those positions. Will Smith definitely included.
Will Smith, to a fault, will treat Jada Pinkett Smith like just what you're saying, like treats her right and is very respectful for her and everything.
Yep.
And he's just, I mean, and look at the guy right now. He's a shell of what he used to be.
Is his career ruined though?
From her? Yes, I think so.
He just won the award, so it was the slap.
That's what you remember?
No, obviously.
You don't
I remember the
Best
red
Actor.
table talks.
You don't remember Best Actor, but you do remember the slap.
Well, obviously.
I think celebrities are they're different. They're in a different game.
Yeah, there's things that those girls would do for those rappers that they won't do for those other two as well.
For
Like
sure.
what?
Like
what?
everything in bed.
Okay, you're saying sexually.
Yeah. Like bring other women home, the whole thing.
Break rules for him.
rules.
Male news
So women are willing to
translation.
break rules for the bad boy,
And
but
make
for the
rules
choir
for the
boy.
bad.
Yeah.
So you
Do you
remember
agree with that, Fosh?
This means it's like your first relationship.
Hold on.
To an extent, like when I think about like bad boys, I don't really see them as like a security thing
Right.
for me. Like I value like having a sense of security. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't necessarily like that. That's just not for me.
So what
it could be fun, but like besides that, I'm not really interested.
No, I agree
Go
with
ahead,
you.
Tori.
I was saying like male needs translation to what they just said is you remember your first boyfriend? Yeah. Okay, you know how you would bake for them or you would go out of your way to find things about him? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So like what a lot of times happens is women will get into relationships with a bunch of guys looking for security, let's say. And that genuine desire is almost like doesn't even exist. So to have that in a bad boy, I guess you could say it's more so having it in a guy that has boundaries, a guy that's willing to say no and you step into their life. What do you have like wait, what did you ask her before that? Because I think
If she'd be willing to do other things for like the rapper type versus the choir boy type.
so would you be willing to
saying no.
do things for your first boyfriend that maybe you wouldn't be willing to do later in life?
Yeah, because I was dumb.
Why do you think that?
I was dumb and I was insecure. That's why I would do it. When I was younger, yeah, my first boyfriend.
Yeah.
But no, not now as an adult.
I would respectfully argue that
Yeah.
first boyfriend works in the scenarios because you remember how strong that love was.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And if you had a man come into your life and he set a frame with you and you knew you were safe inside those walls, I think you would do extra for him. Absolutely.
Yeah,
you
I
would.
think so.
Yeah, because a man's job is to be the mountain that a woman's emotional waves crash into. And if you can give her that structure, she feels safe. And if you know he's not leaving and you're the queen, then I think
Absolutely.
you would.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I don't think a rapper is providing that.
I don't either. And I,
Yeah,
and I think,
rapper-
and also let me just
Just so we're
clarify.
clear on that. I absolutely agree
Right.
with that.
Yeah.
But it's just like
What-
the rapper thing is just, that's what I'm saying. Security, of course, a man that makes me feel secure, loved, I'm staying.
And that's
Yeah.
why I think it's really important to differentiate bad boy from the type of man we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah.
about a strong man.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
talking about a man you can look up to. We're talking about a man you can feel like you're becoming a better woman around, and he's secure in it, and he's not going to lie to you. He's going to take you on this journey through time and space, and you feel like you're the star in that movie.
Yeah.
For that man, you'll kill for.
Yes, I would.
Okay. then
So
we all
everything
agree.
he said you
Clip
agree
that.
with.
I agree with
Boom.
that.
Justin
I
just pimped that comment right
I
there.
agree with that. I just don't think
There you
it's
go.
with the rapper. I don't know. That's just
Let me get your thoughts on this, guys. So this is the flip side. No one agreed that Yumi Lee should be on the cover. We had strong feelings about Kim, Ciara, and Mae Musk. But here's the body positivity movement's spokespeople, what they have to say. Flip side of the coin. So just so we're not, exactly picking sides, let's just throw this out there. So the body positive movement encourages inclusion, not obesity. Encourages inclusion, not obesity. Let me read a couple quotes for you guys, and we'll pick up thoughts on the other side. So the body positive movement promotes acceptance of all bodies, regardless of shape, size, skin tone, gender, and physical abilities, but not everyone sees it that way. Cool. Gone are the days of brands hiring only women with size 2 bodies, like Tori over there. Women of many shapes, sizes, okay, sorry, a 0. Hello. Women of many shapes, sizes, abilities, and ages are now being showcased, and progress is being made. Further, nobody should feel judged on what they do or don't do with their bodies, and I think that's what we hope for at the end of the day, acceptance and respect. Last thought from the body positive movement, these ladies right here. Body positivity means not depriving yourself or forcing yourself to change or participate in anything that could be detrimental to your health and well-being based on outside forces and opinions. Go ahead, Rollo, thoughts. And you can pull up some of those models.
First and foremost, this is the year of the woman, just so we're clear, because we're in a midterm election right now. So when we talk about student debt forgiveness, remember 2/3 of that debt of 1.7 million is owned by women. That's number one. That's why Elizabeth Warren was talking about student debt forgiveness, and she was putting in from the perspective of, well, women need this forgiveness. So, let's petition President Biden to get this done. So that's number one. Number two, of course, is the Roe v. Wade thing that's going on right now,
which we're going to cover.
And we'll get into that too. But they're going to ride this into November. And this right here, by the way, the Sports Illustrated, this is timed for this right now. So we have this conversation, we're amping up this emotionalism so that women go, oh my God, body positivity. I can't believe, like Jordan Peterson walked right into that. Walked right into that comment because that's what they want. That's what it's outrage brokership is what it is. And
who's they? Sports Illustrated, political movements, corporations,
certainly Democratic Party. Let's just say that right now. But certainly corporations, that have an investment in it. We'll talk about the pro female side of corporate decisions here in a minute. But the body positivity thing has been around for forever. But why are we talking about it now? Because we're 6 months out from the November elections. That's why. And you can go and you will find protesters out there in pink pussy hats with banners saying, show up on November 8th. That's essentially what this is meant. It's agitprop. It's agitating propaganda so that we have these conversations. We keep the emotionalism high all the way into October.
Culture wars.
That's what this is meant to do. That's why they put the girl on the front of the cover.
Can we pull up some of these other girls? Because there's a difference between the Yumi Lee and this girl. What's her name? Tess
Holiday.
Can we flip that so the
well, this
now
is a
that
problem.
is a total
This is a problem.
Now, like, here's where I stand. Yumi Lee. Can we just toggle between these pictures? Okay, this is Tess. Okay, Yumi Lee. Actually, that's a pretty bad picture right there.
That is morbidly obese.
The one in the yellow.
Medically, that is morbidly
the one
obese.
in the red up top. Like, if you just showed me that top picture,
just like
I'd say
Megan Fox.
She's kind of Megan Fox looking-ish. Is that what you're saying?
Just like a fat
she has
Megan
a pretty
Fox.
face.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty face. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And even the Sports Illustrated, the one that Jordan Peterson tweeted. Exactly. Not like, oh my God, fat girl. I don't think so. Now flip it to the other girl. She actually looks good here. Flip it to this other girl. Straight up fat girl. I mean, I don't. There's no debate with that. Like, she is obese.
You put a number on
she
it.
Needs
they want to argue
angioplasty, is what she's going to need.
Okay, and now if Jordan Peterson would have said that about her, would you have had the same problem? Like, are there different levels to outrage?
I just, like I said before, I just think the way that he worded it came off a little rude. That's really it. But obviously, this woman is overweight, and that's not okay to promote.
I mean, this is the cover of Cosmo. Women. I mean, is that the number one magazine for women? I gotta assume that.
Yeah, there's only one Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover. There's plenty of Cosmos. So
is this okay? What is this? What is this sending? You could be 400 pounds and you're Gucci?
What is it that this lady does? What does she do?
She's a model. She's a plus-size model. Pull up a couple other girls. Pull up Ashley Graham.
Oh, Lord.
They don't want to put a number on it.
Put up Ashley Graham.
I think she looks good.
Who's a bigger gal. She's not obese, though. She's not. She's like a thicker gal.
I think that might be her body shape. She looks great right
she actually looks kind of good. But this Tess Holiday girl, that's a whole nother level. And then let me flip something for you guys. Do you know who Winnie Harlow is?
Yeah.
Pull up Winnie Harlow. What are your thoughts on her?
I think she's bombing. Bomb.
Like, you think she's because she's skinny?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Just because she's skinny?
She looks fit to me.
Okay, but you don't have a problem with her skin?
We're not talking about the obvious.
What's that?
Vitiligo?
Justin, are you into? Is she skinny? Are you into the vitiligo?
No, I'm not. But
you know who she dates, by the way. I don't know if she's still with him. Kyle Kuzma, NBA player. Pull up Kyle Kuzma and her right there. But so do you have a problem with? What's the limit here? What are you okay with? What are you not okay? Can't everyone make it on a cover?
Weight is something you can control. She
Okay.
can't control the fact that she has a skin
Fair
condition.
point.
Just like men with their height can't control. You know how women discriminate men against their height. But,
Right. Need to be
but
6
as
foot
soon-
to date me. Da,
Yeah,
da, da, da.
they don't see a problem with it. They
Okay.
don't even see any other guy.
Justin,
No
as
pun
someone who's
intended.
5'9", do you have a problem finding women,
Yes.
bro?
Yeah, and I'm really angry.
You're what? You're 6'3"? How tall are you, Justin?
Yeah, I'm
6'3". Okay.
But I think what the problem is the message. Go back to the Sports Illustrated. Because
Which one? The big girl?
This one here.
Oh, her. Okay.
Does it say be the change you want to see?
Yeah.
So,
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
I
Oh, is that what it
didn't
says?
see
Scrolling on that.
though.
Good point.
Yeah,
Be
so
the change you want to see. Break that down.
It's about the message. The message is saying that this is okay. The other girl that had the skin condition, the message should be, hey, I had this skin condition and I did my best in life to become the best I could to become a model, and that I should be very proud of. I respect that woman.
Yeah.
The other one is saying, I'm fat, and if I'm really honest, I wish I wasn't. But since I am, love me anyway. I'm the
Yeah.
change
Yes.
you want to see. Bull fucking shit. The
Bitch.
hypocrisy is what pissed Jordan Peterson off about
I
this.
have a question.
Very valid point.
Is there any like illnesses that make you like overweight?
Thyroid.
Does she have that problem?
Diabetes, thyroid. yeah. I don't
Statistically,
know.
probably not. If she would have grown up in a country that did not have the correct nourishment, she'd probably be skinny as a rail.
I understand that there's medical conditions,
Yeah.
but that should be on the cover. You know, like it's a message, it's media. If you have a thyroid condition and you're fat, it should say that.
Well, women have a higher standard of like idealized male beauty than men have for women.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that gets lost in all this narrative here is like this, right? As again, this is social constructionism in action right here.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see. Okay, well, what is that? Let's change the rules of the game so that a woman like this can play at a different level. Let's change the game so that she's hot. Like in the game of hotness, I want to be hot, but I can't be because I'm this weight and I look like this. So therefore, I'm going to change. I want men to change their standards so that I am the one who's the ideal. Where meanwhile, if you go and if you saw a guy, let me ask you this question: if you saw a guy that was this heavy and had a shirt off.
It's a joke.
And dad bods was supposed to be something for a while there. Would you get excited about that guy? Would you buy the calendar of guys with dad bods, or would you buy the calendar of the hot Chippendales guy or the hot fireman calendar or something like that?
Yeah,
it's like
you're
that's
right.
the difference in standard there, because the Greco-Roman, V taper with the chiseled jawline and 6-pack abs and 6 feet tall, that hasn't changed in like millennia. But now that we're in the 21st century here, we're supposed to say, you know what, beauty is actually subjective, and we should all just love this look
this
right
picture.
here.
I slapped your picture.
It's because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's like until it comes to male beauty, because there's a separate standard of justice for women and for men, and that's in a lot of different realms, by the way, but certainly in the physical, women have a higher standard of idealized male beauty than men do for women. If you don't believe me, go and look at all the different varieties of pornography there is. I mean, big women, fat women, skinny women.
Furries.
Yeah, exactly. Like all your hair colors, all colors of the rainbow. Name any girl. There is probably a niche of porn just for you. And just you don't believe me? Go ask midgets. Midget porn, right?
Well, one of the biggest porns is BBW, right?
Right.
Big beautiful women.
There ain't no big beautiful men that women are going, oh, I can't wait to get my big beautiful man.
Well, maybe that's where Sports Illustrated did their market research.
Natalia, you have that picture on Slack? I want to get your thoughts on this. But okay, so you're a
I
model.
know what you're gonna show.
Yes, I am a model.
You're a model.
Yes.
Hypothetical. All right, we have our 2 final contestants, our 2 finalists on who's going to make the cover of Vogue this coming month, or Sports Illustrated, or Men's, or Cosmo.
Okay.
And it's you, gorgeous, fit, doing your thing, bang, bang, boom, or Yumi Nu, and she beats you out.
Because
How do you
she's fat.
respond to that? And she beats you out because she's social
We're trying
construction.
to be the change we want to see.
Exactly.
In the world.
That's bullshit.
What
I'd be pissed.
as the
I'd be
model
pissed for you.
as the model,
Fuck
go
that
ahead.
shit.
What would you
I
say?
would be very upset because I work extremely hard on taking care of myself and my health.
Okay.
So I would be very.
What would you
upset
say to
about
the
that,
what would you say
especially
to the magazine or the model agency if they said, "Hey, sorry, but we think very highly of you, but we'll consider you for the next time." Any final thoughts?
I would really like to know like why they would do that. I would be like, why?
Hey, look,
And
this
tell
is
the
just
truth.
our selection, and unfortunately, we didn't go with you this year, but better luck next time. You would just say. They're not going to tell you the truth.
No, I'd
what
be
would
like,
you say?
no,
that's
objective criteria.
bullshit.
Think
That's what
about
I
who
mean.
their
That's
market
bullshit.
is. Their market is people that promote that too. So you would represent something that they would cancel them for too. That's something that I always think about now. It's like, who's your market that you're selling to? It's like people that want that to be okay. So is Jordan Peterson, back to that question, was he really wrong for saying that? It's like, I don't think so. I don't know.
Natalia, you have that Slack picture?
That was
Okay.
a good question, Adam.
Well, I'm just saying,
That
she's
was
a model.
really good way of
She's a
putting it,
model.
yeah.
Well, I mean, something similar happened in, I think it was in the state of Nevada with the, I think it was Miss Nevada, was actually a guy. It was a trans.
And you know what? That was the point I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
This bullshit is the same thing that people are outraged about how men are saying they're women and going to beat women in sports. People
I
are
don't
tired of the
like
bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's
Is
the
it just too
hypocrisy.
woke? Is that what's going on right now? It's just
Yeah.
woke?
It's an
Everybody
overcorrection.
wants to be like things that they're not, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
where the problem
Well,
is coming from. It's just
this-
like, can you be yourself or like get some mental help or something?
They don't have
I
any
know.
mental strength.
This is going to sound really, really bad, but you know what that cover is? It's the
Yeah.
equivalent of being at the high school homecoming football game, and they give the football to the mentally retarded kid
Yeah.
and let him run across and get a touchdown, and everybody's yelling and yay, go, go, and they like he thinks.
And
he's
Okay,
in the
hey, by the way, here it is right here.
That's what it is.
That's
I'm
why
cool with that.
This is
as long as
basically
it
what
doesn't
you're
go on the
saying.
scoreboard.
This is what you're saying, is that
Yeah, there you go.
if this is the swimsuit edition cover girl, then this should be people's
Dude.
sexiest man alive.
Is
Is
that
that a
Ethan
fair
Klein?
point? That's the Two Bears podcaster, the comedian. I forget his name. Not Tom Segura. Tom Segura's buddy.
That guy is never
But
going to be on the cover of Men's Fitness. That guy's never going to be on the cover of like,
ever,
and
right?
Body and Iron Man. he's
Is
not
that
gonna be
the
on that.
Is that essentially the point?
You have
is
a
that
point.
stop
You
it, guys?
definitely do.
Stop trying to convince us that this dude is sexy. It's not going to happen. Now, women, if this guy was on the cover of all the magazines for you to look at,
Does that get your blood
Playgirl
flowing?
magazine, at what point would you be like, look, enough's a fucking enough here. This guy's clearly not the sexy guy,
That's true.
right?
I would definitely not look at that. I'll just be like,
And
why
if
are you
Jordan
doing this?
Peterson said, sorry, buddy, you're not hot, would you have a problem with that?
It would
No.
never generate.
So
the
you
same
see
interest.
the double standard here,
I
Fosh.
do, yeah.
'Cause
Look at
it's-
us.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Okay.
it feels.
All right.
I see it.
Listen, let's try to help Jordan Peterson out. At one point, he had to, I guess, address the fact that his wife was a little overweight.
Really?
Um,
when was that?
He said,
Before the carnivore diet.
before the carnivore
say no
door.
more.
Do we have that quote? He said, we can just pull up a picture of Jordan Peterson and his wife. Yeah, we're not going to play the video here. So someone asked, so my girlfriend is quite overweight, but I really love her. Should I encourage her to lose weight? Is this his response, Natalia?
Yes.
Maybe you would be subtle enough to figure out some way that you could both embark on health promoting endeavor together, and that would work out. Anyway, we can't play the video, but Jordan Peterson, we all know who he is. We've been talking about all episode. He had to deal with, he was overweight. He said he had to look good for his wife. He had to, how do you have a conversation if your significant other
I'll tell
isn't
you.
exactly looking the best? Go ahead, Tori.
You got to do some dread on the bitch. So what you do, what I'm telling you, you got to you start going to the gym after work for an extra hour. She's going to be like, is he cheating on me? And then she's going to end up wanting to come with, but she has to come to that decision herself. But
So
you got to act.
you're messing with their head? What
A
is
little
it?
bit, yeah. But it's because if you look at, so people say manipulation is bad, but when you look at the reason for it, it's like, I want to be attracted. I want to stay with my wife. I want my relationship to work. And in order for it to work, he has to be sexually attracted. Men don't need that much.
I disagree.
Really?
Why do you disagree,
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about the Machiavellianism and
Not
and everything.
Machiavelli.
Well, you're kind of manipulating her a little bit because of the end in mind. But here's the thing: it goes back to the respect thing. If I can't sit you down and look you in the eye and say, "Hey, baby, I love you," you're fucking fat.
Can't with you.
It's true. That's true.
I don't know.
And
Go
all
ahead,
those
Justin.
cookies you have in the pantry, I don't ever want to see them in the house again.
No more Oreos.
Justin, have you ever had to say this
I
to a
think
girl?
it's hard.
Right.
You have said
right.
you.
Yeah, I've
So
taken
you were dating
loaves
an
of bread
attractive
and-
girl?
Yeah.
And what happened?
And she got fat?
So, no, she didn't get fat, but she was making me fat because she was buying all this shit and putting it in the house.
Extra scoop of
And,
rice.
and they don't eat anything, right?
Okay.
You know,
It's-
girls
it's-
know.
All right, so
y'all buy stuff you don't
You're
eat.
saying that you were getting fat, though.
I was concerned that
So-
I was on the verge, so I took the shit and I started throwing it.
But brother,
I started throwing it off the balcony.
Women are different.
That's a different conversation,
Women
bro.
are
Hold on, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
Women are
It's a
sensitive.
different conversation with, babe, you're cooking too good. You're giving too much good food.
Yeah.
I'm getting fat. I love you. Stop doing such a good job. Versus, baby, you're looking fat.
Right. Okay. So
that's what I'm asking you.
This is how you do it. You
Yeah.
sit her, again. You sit her down and say, "Babe, you're starting to get fat." And hold on.
You're not doing that shit.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
I'd
do.
rather
go
be
ahead.
Yeah, you do.
manipulated.
Go.
Yeah, you do. And as you know, I don't date fat girls. That's it, bro. That's it. You have to tell
What
her.
if she blasts
Because
you?
here's the thing. Real love is dark. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, good job." If I really, really love you and I really care about you, I will risk you getting upset with me because I'm not a coward and I love you that much that I will put my relationship with you on the line and you being angry at me because I love you.
What if her friends,
Anything else is hollow, it's fake.
What if her friends are like, that's toxic. How dare he do that? How dare he say that to you? With everything going on now, I would manipulate her on that one.
How do you mean?
Like the dread thing. Like, don't let her know. Just kind of
What's
pull
the
back.
dread? What is
Earlier,
this?
like you pull back a little bit. I think if you're too
But
honest,
what is this term dread you're using?
I think that's a bitch game. You're being a little
It
bitch.
can
as a
be,
guy.
Yeah, but
but-
it's inspiring
and the-
urgency
Right.
is what it's
Yeah,
Right,
like I think women with the whole movement and stuff and blasting them on TikTok, like I think there's a lot of harm that can be done if you're too honest. Like the girls are going to say it to their friends, they're going to say leave him.
As a man, if you fall to the words of your girl's friends, you're also a coward.
True. I agree with I agree with you. I'm
Would you,
just saying
would
it's
you rather
inevitable.
would you rather she do it on her own and say, I'm kind of getting overweight, I better get to the gym? Would you rather say, oh, I know that he doesn't
Yeah.
really like
rather-
fat chicks, or would you rather have to go through what you just said, a confrontation? Well,
I'd rather be the leader and say, hey, listen, this is where we're at.
It gives you a chance to
This
like
is
show
what we're
value
gonna do
for
about
sure.
it.
Yeah.
But like
you're
what-
gonna start going this, and this.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start eating like this, and this because I'm the leader. You're getting overweight, and I love you, and I love you enough to tell you. I'm not gonna be a coward and like skirt around it and make her think I'm already doing that shit.
Let's say
So you're
the guy
saying
doesn't have frame
that
in the
because if I
beginning,
love
though.
you,
Yeah, maybe.
I can be
Yeah.
completely honest with you.
But like
it should be. Look, if I care about a girl and I see that something negative, it could be anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not courageous enough to interact with her in that way, then I don't even deserve her love because I'm just telling her whatever the fuck she wants to hear.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bosh, you're agreeing with him.
I agree. I really respect like when a man can just be like, okay, like honest, like
Yeah.
being honest about it, but it can be said in a like a
Right, I wouldn't.
not in a,
I wouldn't do it.
terrible way,
I wouldn't
you
do
know?
it in an aggressive way. It's like, look,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of getting away from us. I'm gonna help you out. These
Yeah.
are the frames that we're gonna put in place, and I would set some guidelines and boundaries.
I respect that. I love
do it.
that.
Do it together with her.
Yeah,
rather
that's
than
great.
do shit behind her back and manipulate. I would
So,
go straight
so
out.
this is
Don't you
the
think-
age old question of, honey, does this dress make me look fat?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up! You can't say yes. She's getting dressed that night to go out.
You like
That night, bro. You're gonna ruin
You
her
can
night.
just be like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like that one. Try it.
Yeah. I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. I'm not.
Yeah.
See, and that's where we got off track with the bad boy versus
Yeah.
the strong
That's-
frame.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and that's something that's in the red pill space a lot. All these guys, they think you do it like no, that's not how you do it.
Okay.
If you really care, you're doing it from a place of structure and with that polarity. Hey, listen, decisive is where it is. Hey, it's here. We need it here. I love you. I care about you. I'm not going to play games. We need to get it right.
So
what if he didn't?
if Fosh was your girlfriend, let's just say,
Yeah.
and she did put on a couple LBs. By the way, you look great, so don't
Thank
no
you.
stress, looking
Right.
good. And she put on a dress, and
Right.
it wasn't. You'd say, what would you say? And you wanted her to change
And you can
dresses.
tell me to my face because I'm right here.
Oh,
She's right here.
absolutely.
What would you say? Role play, Justin.
Listen,
we
honey.
role play, baby.
Listen, I don't know if you remember the previous conversation we've been having, so I'll definitely tell you. Like,
What conversations?
I'm talking about the ones earlier when we were like seeing other women and all the other. This
okay.
one's actually easy.
Go.
This one's super easy. I'd sit her down and be like, hey, babe. The reason I didn't like that dress on you is because it's kind of clear that dress doesn't fit you the same anymore. and I love you, and I don't want to see it get too far out of hand. So what I'm going to do is step in and help you. We're going to do this, this, and we're going to be accountability partners, and I'm going to help lead you out of this together.
Thank you so much for telling me, babe. I appreciate that.
Right.
That's how
now, you know what I do? You know what I do?
I'm in fantasy land right now. You know that you're not going to go out that night. You know that you're not going to. Your honey, I don't want to go to dinner with you now. I don't want to go to the party. You just made me feel self-conscious.
No, I really wouldn't. I really
here's
wouldn't
the
feel that way.
difference. Here's the difference.
I just want to finish how I would have finished the conversation.
Go ahead.
Then I'm like, now turn your little fine ass around. Let's go to dinner. And I'd slap you on the ass. I'd slap you on the ass, and that would be it. Because here's the thing: if you keep it tight, she's not that far off. She's a couple pounds away.
Got it.
It's when you're a coward and you let her get to 25 pounds that there's a big problem. And that's
she
the
lets
point.
herself get that way.
Right.
Because it's like, if you respect yourself, take care of yourself. Period.
Right,
What happens if you have a baby and now like the baby?
That's
like,
different.
That's what I'm asking you.
You get some
That's a good
time.
question.
You get time.
How much time do you get?
It depends.
6
I think
months.
that's
You
up
get
to
6
the
months?
I think it's up to the
3
couple.
months.
Don't give me depends. Give me numbers. You get 6 months.
No, I'm not. Like, how much?
You get 12 months.
A lot of that
You
has
get
to do.
10 years, Tori.
I want plastic surgery. Okay.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Exactly. Put me on the table. Give me the BBL right now.
And what is that?
Lipo.
But here's
Brazilian
What is that?
butt lift.
Lipo?
Oh, it's a they take the
Brazilian
fat
butt lift.
from your,
Right.
Brazilian
Yeah,
butt lift. They
okay.
take the
We're
fat
American.
from your
We know it.
stomach and
Yeah.
they put it in your booty.
Adam.
Hey, let me add
Go ahead,
something
Rollo.
else on it. Like it's all fine and dandy to be having this conversation and role playing and everything else.
Yeah.
But what this whole conversation reminds me of is I believe it was 2019. It was right around like the holiday season, and there was a commercial for Peloton that had come out.
Yeah,
and
it was.
that they actually had to like rejigger the story because they didn't like the way that the husband had given the Peloton to the wife.
100% remember this,
Yes,
Rollo.
exactly.
Yes.
So like it got to the point where there was such outrage that a husband would give a wife a Peloton, which is like the running machine.
It's like a $2,500 bike.
Exactly. It's basically like lose weight at home kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
That's
that was
how it was perceived,
and that was
correct.
the Christmas present. And then of course it goes through the year where she goes and she loses weight, and by the time she comes back around to Christmas time again, she's down, she's trim, she looks good, and she does not look like the woman that is on the Sports Illustrated cover. That's for damn sure. And so women were losing their minds over this. I was on with Pat Campbell, God rest his soul, when we were talking about this on his radio show, and we had women calling in who were just raging pissed off that we were even talking about it in the first place. And the guy who was the actor in the commercial, women were finding him on Twitter and saying, how dare you go and just, I can't believe you tell your
Twitter mob.
he's like, I can't believe you would give that to your wife. He's like, that I'm an actor, that's an actress, and people were so invested in that outrage that was generated by a man telling a woman that you need to get in shape, and here's what I'm getting. Like, it wasn't even that. She asked for, in the commercial, she asked for the Peloton.
And are all these guys, back to Justin's point, are they just too scared to tell their girl, babe,
They didn't.
We don't
say
even
it.
want to have the conversation. That's the problem. There's like most guys won't. He's speaking a different language to them because they would never even go that far. It would never get to that conversation, and they wouldn't even think to give their wife a Peloton. They wouldn't think to have the conversation in the first place because they realize if they do, well, that makes me an insecure guy, and I shouldn't do that. They've been pre-programmed not to avoid the conversation is, does my butt look fat in these jeans? No, your ass looks fat in your jeans because your ass is fat.
Yeah.
That's why.
What would you call these guys who are too scared to step up and lead and be the man?
Bitches.
The average American man. That's what I would call
Okay.
the average American guy.
True.
And what's the average American man these days?
Fat, overweight, unemployed, or underemployed. Certainly 75% of the population is overweight, right?
Addicted to porn.
Addicted to porn, addicted to their sedations, whatever that happens to be, whether it's like,
Video games.
video games, prescription drugs, pornography, who don't have, they're the Lost Boys generation that Jordan Peterson always talks about all the time. Purposeless, rudderless in life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And will not. I mean, we've got a very high value man here who's saying, I don't know why people just don't understand this, and why would you have to go and say anything except for what you just said? But the problem is most guys
Don't set it
don't
up.
even. It's not even an afterthought to them.
Because ethics happen before you need them. And the reason they don't say anything is because they're not in a position to feel like they can get away with saying anything. Because the truth is, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they're fucking in the first place.
Yeah. That's
So
the big
he's in
thing.
no position to tell her shit.
Yeah, he's already in a.
Because why?
Because he hasn't taken care of his. Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. Look, it's easy to push all in when you know you're holding 4 aces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do the work to create the hand where you're holding those aces, then you're going to come to the table and she's going to call your bluff and you're going to lose.
She'll feel tricked.
Right. And so everything you just said, underemployed, overweight, all those things, those are those aces that a man should create for himself so he can come sit down with her and say, baby, I love you. And I'm secure enough to tell you. And I'm going to help lead you out.
And that is where dread comes into play. And I'm not saying like it's like a strategy so much as this is the guy who other men want to be and other women want to bang.
Yes, sir.
And I know that, and those are his aces, and therefore you have a different relationship than you would if it's a guy who's giving his wife a Peloton.
Yes, sir. As long as dread is there.
I hate to use the term dread. It's like
because dread feels like manipulation in a way, almost like a trick. But it really needs to be like, you are that guy, and then you just tell her, hey, I'm going to help lead you out of it, and you don't really have to manipulate or trick her. You can just tell her how it is.
It's conducive to the relationship and women's feelings. And if she comes to the decision, oh my God, I want to lose weight for this, number one, longevity. And it's her like wanting to compete almost. She doesn't want to lose him. Right. If you just tell her, she's going to be at the gym, maybe do a set and be like, fuck this dude.
Right. She's got to look up to him in that way.
Yeah.
And so
that's where that polarity comes back into play.
Preventing that conversation from ever happening if you are a high value guy who's authentically has the 4 aces, as you were saying, and she says, you know what, I better keep my ass in the gym.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's like having respect for that man and respecting yourself, making sure you're staying up to your shit, because you know if you don't, he'll leave your ass. Period.
Yeah, guys have to have frame right away. Boundaries.
Frame is just game. Is that
no?
What is frame?
Money, muscles, and game.
Yeah, frame is having boundaries that are so strong that a woman wants to step into your life and will move, almost like how they say a guy will move mountains, a woman will move mountains to step into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the different types of men, since we're talking about that guy's a bitch and that guy's a gentleman, and different types of women are out there. So I'm going to say, I wrote down some words.
Oh, God.
There might be others that we can discuss, but let's just start with these. These are different types of men and terminologies that I've been hearing a lot lately. Comment them as you will. I don't know what this is exactly, but we've talked about this, and I'd love you to break this down. Okay. What is a simp?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. A simp is like sort of this term that it's an internet term. Your grandmother probably knows what a simp is right now. Simp actually came from the communities of, like, I think I want to say it was OnlyFans, really, or Twitch or Twitter.
It started
if you can give a woman a tip on any form of social media, that's where the word simp comes from. So the simp is the guy who is essentially spending money or has a deep investment in women to the point where he is self-sacrificing to the point of to a fault, right? And in this case, they're spending the easiest way to understand this is like if on OnlyFans, for example, you've got guys who are willing to spend small fortunes, and they will creatively come up with ways to outshine the other guys that they know are also simping for this woman. So that's where you get the term simp from. So you can say it's like the guy. I always thought of it as this way. I thought that the word simp came from like being sympathetic, and that was just a shortening of that. And so it was. I'm pretty sure that's the evolution of. I could be wrong.
It came from simpleton,
but
simpleton.
Yeah. But it's a guy who will move heaven and earth. Right. He will to the point of self-sacrifice for like zero reciprocation.
Right. Is there any ladies? Is there any upside to a guy simping over you?
Yeah, you get your bills
money.
paid.
Absolutely.
Okay,
but
so
nothing.
A simp.
You do because they pay your bills. Do you respect a simp? Can you respect a simp?
I can't necessarily say that I respect them. Like I would want to be in like a committed long-term relationship with somebody like that.
A simp, aka friend zone, sugar daddy. What is that?
There's a difference.
You're not. You're not allowed to simp on my channel. I block words. You can't do anything like that. I don't.
What do you mean? What do you do?
I block out things like "you're so beautiful. Let me buy you this." Literally on YouTube. Like so, you cannot do anything but compliment the video or the message or criticize. So I don't like simps. I think we have a big problem with simps.
Really?
A very detrimental
Justin,
problem.
you look like you want to weigh in on this simpology.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that's costing you money.
I was just about to say that.
You might want to go ahead and take that money. That's the business side of what we're doing over here.
You can't buy my love.
I'll
Okay?
tell
I
you.
think Justin's saying you
Can't
can't.
buy my
No,
love.
no, I don't think they can buy your love, but I do think it's costing you money, and that's
Why?
well, you know, I mean, if
You
the
think-
guys are gonna
Why is it costing-
if they're
Justin,
gonna
it's the
super
hustle.
chat you because you're beautiful and all those things,
Yeah, they
well,
super chat
yeah,
me.
let them do it. You know, that's what
Yeah,
I would say about
sure.
that. But a really good friend of mine put it really well in one sentence. Tristan Tate actually says
Yeah.
simply, it's the unequal exchange of value.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all
that
it
makes
is.
sense.
It's
The
just
unequal exchange of value.
It's an
Attention,
unbalanced
money.
exchange of value between attention, money, or things like
Sex.
that.
and
That's-
what's the unequal exchange? What is
well,
that?
well, it could be done in many ways. So, for example, like he and I talked about it on my show once, and he said, you know, it's not simping if I tell a girl she's beautiful in her comments on Instagram, because me and that girl have an equal exchange of value. I've either slept with that woman or we have a long friendship, etc. It's when it's one-sided.
Yeah.
So an
I can
unequal
tell
exchange
you,
of value.
I'll give you the difference for having a friends with benefits, fuck buddy versus booty call. A booty call is the same thing as a guy being in friend zone, or like a booty call in this say a booty call. Think about what that is, right? A booty call is a woman who has just have sex with a guy because it's sport fucking, right? It's just recreational sex. And there is no emotional. It's all sex with no emotion in it. And the opposite is true of being in the friend zone. It's guys who are like constantly caught in this friend zone, thinking that they're going to have a chance, and that if they just figure out the magic words to say, and if they stick around, they're nice enough, and they prove their quality enough, that eventually something sexual is going to happen. Then eventually they're going to have a relationship. So for the woman, it is all emotional investment with no sex. So those two are like they're almost parallel.
It's true. I believe everything in this room, and every road and every bridge and every building we see, some man got out of bed in pursuit of a woman to go invent, build, and maintain everything you
Every
see in this
masterpiece
world.
ever painted.
Ever.
Yeah.
And when you take that energy out of a man, I think he dies inside.
Damn.
He slowly starts getting fat, and it starts evening out, and now all of a sudden he can't say shit to her about getting fat. Because he's no
already
better
there.
than her, and the polarity's gone.
That's why I
It's
tried
broken.
in the beginning. I swear,
It's
it
broken.
fixes everything.
What do you mean?
Like, if you realize that she's not respecting you and you do the dread thing, even if you're married, and you pull back a little bit and then go to the gym and make her want to do that, that's kind of how you get that sexual attraction back. Because as soon as she doesn't respect you and she doesn't want to fuck you, you're fucked. She'll probably divorce you.
Oh, she'll cheat
Give
on you
it
first.
5 years.
She'll probably cheat
True.
on you first.
Yeah,
If you
true.
could see the inside of my Facebook, I showed him the other day.
Lord.
What?
I'm like, dude, look at this. I hand him
Inside
my
of
phone to
what?
look at my Facebook.
Yeah.
Bro.
What is it?
It's just a bunch
He'll
of...
show you after the show.
Sad
what
guys.
is it?
Sad
It's sad.
guys.
It's sad. It's a bunch of married women. It's a bunch
Saying
of women
what?
with a boyfriend. Just saying everything.
Trying
I'll show
to
you.
bang him.
Like just
It's
like
all day long. It's all day
they're
long.
hitting on you. They're complaining. It's all the above. What are
Yeah,
they saying?
so I always say complaining is the first sign that she's trying to monkey branch. If a woman comes to you and she starts complaining
Shoulder
about...
to cry on.
Yeah.
My boyfriend
Dick
doesn't
to
do
ride
that.
on.
Yeah. Oh,
Shoulder
yeah.
to cry on,
Yeah,
dick
yeah.
to ride on.
Yeah.
I've heard
Exactly.
that before.
And
The
so-
all right, let me throw a couple other things out there. We got about a half hour left here, and I want to get through a couple topics, but a couple other terminologies, and I want to do some guys and girls. What's a fuck boy, ladies?
You want to go?
What's a fuckboy? A fuckboy is a guy that just doesn't have any respect. I feel like that's a fuckboy. You have no respect for women. You say like whatever. You treat them any type of way, and it's disgusting. That's what a fuckboy is.
No upside to a fuck boy.
No,
Or is there?
I don't think so. No.
Tori,
Yeah.
is there any upside to a fuck boy?
What she's saying is correct. That's how most people look at it. I sometimes use it interchangeably with like the alpha fuck side of hypergamy. So the good genes, the hot guy that you want, the foam cannon party dude that you wanna. I was drunk, he was cute, and one thing led to another. But a fuck boy, really, the way that I see it, it's kind of like when a guy manipulates you. Okay, so this is where bad manipulation.
Yeah.
He tells the girl everything she wants
Right.
to get into, like, because he knows if I do this, I say
Right.
this, if I'm like this for her, then she'll fuck me. And he
Right.
ends up fucking her for however long and ends up leaving her. That's a fuck boy because he wasted her time knowing damn well he wasn't going to date her.
I'll tell you what it
From
is.
the beginning. That's a fuck boy.
Justin, go ahead. What's a fuck boy?
boy is a hollow shell of what he's faking being to her.
Yeah.
So he's acting like he's this thing and this thing and this thing, which would make her okay if he was going around fucking other women.
It's a
Because
mask.
women will stay with a man that sleeps with other women. They will, whether they want to admit it or not. What happens is he lies to her and creates this facade of who he is, and then she pops that bubble, or that bubble pops in front of her, and he's like, he was lying the whole time just to sleep with me.
The mask falls.
So
That's
we're establishing some rules. Women hate guys who lie. They hate liars. Is that the worst?
Existential fear.
Yeah.
They hate the liar more than the guy who fucked the girl. Another girl.
Yeah, because they have more of an investment in it.
They hate to
That's why.
feel tricked.
Yeah.
Because if that guy is who he says he is, like I'll say bad boy this time.
Yeah.
But he's going to stay with her, and she has position with him, because a lot of people think that women care about sex. Women don't care about the sex with other women as much as they care about you leaving them for those other women.
The resources.
They have an investment. You have embarrassed her. You have wasted her fucking time. She has babies
And
to
her
have.
sexual capital on
And,
top of
and
it.
you did all these things to paint this picture, and it turns out you were lying the whole time. That is a fuck.
If you paid another bitch's rent, I'm
If you're a
out.
girl, yeah. If you're,
I feel like that's
out.
more disrespectful
Right.
than anything else. Like you're paying for shit.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, notice. Now
Why?
notice. She didn't say
Wow.
anything. She did not say a
You're
fucking
paying
word
for
about
shit.
getting pussy.
I
She
feel
didn't
some
say
type of
nothing.
way.
You see exactly.
It's the
You're
principle.
out here paying
when
for
you're
shit.
when you're
embarrassing me.
prioritizing another woman's needs and wants over.
That's the
Yeah.
fear.
It's
Mine.
position.
Yeah.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Get the fucking mic here.
Adam, let me throw this in there.
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
Rollo.
So now there's an evolutionary reason to this, as of course you would expect from me here. It's the existential fear of women is to have their sexual selection taken away from them. That's why you want to know why abortion is such a big deal for women right now, because it plays on that existential fear. Because in our evolutionary past, if a woman made a bad choice in reproduction, that could be her life. It could be a death sentence for her. And even if she made a good choice, it could still be a death sentence, because women are the vulnerable sex. They are the ones who will be saddled with a child for 9 months of pregnancy, and God knows how long it takes to bring a child. And this is in the past. Okay, so women are the vulnerable sex. I mean, people say, oh, they're weaker sex. They are most definitely the vulnerable sex, and as such, they have to be more cautious. The reproductive costs are much higher for a woman because she could potentially get pregnant. A guy, ejaculate and evacuate. That's all. That's all there is to it.
Ejaculate and evacuate.
That's why we have different, mating strategies on top of that. But the reason why they get upset about a liar is because it's a guy that they found out who possibly sold himself, as I was saying before, sold himself as something that he wasn't. And then that's why when you see a guy, when a woman finds a man who's cheating, it's that they have a very fine-tuned sort of like what we call feminine intuition. And that's why you get shows like Cheaters, or you get like even you want to know why what is it? The Bachelor is it's in this 26th season. Why is that? Because you want to figure out if these guys are for real, or The Bachelorette. Are these guys for real or are they not? And it tweaks or it stokes this sort of instinctive, like, I don't say dread, but it's an instinctive urgency in women to know whether this guy's for real or if he is not for real. Because if you can't make that determination, then it could be life or death for a woman, and that's why they hate a liar. And more so, here's
ingrained in them.
And also, when women get jealous of men, it's for a different reason than when men get jealous of women. So as she was just saying right here, I don't want some guy paying her bills, right? Because that's investment cost.
Nailed it.
I need the resources for my babies, not that bitch's babies.
Exactly.
Fosh,
And
if
I want to add to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But
You said you have to use the restroom?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a thing, but you can ask the question.
Would you be more offended to find out that your guy's been sleeping out all over town, okay, with multiple women, embarrassing you, but you found it out? You saw the text message, you saw pictures, or you found out that he was straight up just paying some girls' bills left and right?
I would be very upset at him paying for shit more than anything else.
Yeah,
because
she nailed it.
You need to be giving me the money. Like, why are you giving money to anybody else? Okay,
That's where
So you'd be way more upset about that.
over money. Yes,
Putting
resources.
because he's putting resources in another nest.
He's a simp.
Yeah, that's resources.
He's a simp.
Simping.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the
Wait,
next one.
Said
Do
you wanted to talk about money. Here you go.
There it was. All right, Fosh will be right back.
Wait, what were you?
You're
gonna
coming
add?
back though, right, Fosh?
What
Adam. He was
Yeah.
gonna add to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
all I was gonna say is that what he was talking about in the old way, like their life is on the line when they're pregnant. Well, the 2022 version of that is a single mom.
Yes.
Really, really destroys a girl's inability to get commitment from a man.
Men are repulsed by them.
I'm saying a single mom is what?
Well, basically, a single mom hurts her position in the marketplace, if you will.
That's good.
Having a baby and being alone, it really hurts her situation. So if she's not having that baby by a man that she can, number one, be proud of or mostly stay with and have those resources, then that's probably why she wants that abortion.
If you think about how long
That's
women
good.
need long-term security, like you figure from like 18 to 28, that's their hoe phase, right? It's the party years where they got to find the right guy to settle down with because the sexual
a good
market
point.
value is perishable. By the time they get into their 30s, it's like, okay, I got to find a guy who is stable, secure, love his mother, likes puppy dogs, wants kids, is the same religion as me, makes money, makes more money than I do, and all these other things that make the guy gives the guy the aces, right? And she's got to find that guy because either that or she has to provide it for herself at that point. And so what happens if you think about when women have their the capacity to attract that guy, it's maybe a span of 10, on average, a span of about 10 years. For women between, say, 30 on to, 90 or whatever, they need long-term security longer than they have the ability to generate that long-term security. So when a woman is at her peak sexual market value years, it is imperative for her to do that. That's why they get so upset about like, I thought he was the one. And if you think I'm just pulling this out of my ass, also go and look at the average age of first marriage in the United States. For men, it's 30, and for women, it's 28. Right where I'm saying that women are checking out of the sexual marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
They start to panic.
And what happens?
They got to pick a guy.
Before the lights come on at the club.
I got a year.
You have 1 year until what? Until you're 28?
Yeah.
Are you panicking?
No.
Why are you not panicking?
I don't think I was meant to reproduce.
You don't want to have kids?
I want them, but I don't think I was meant to.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
We'll go there. All right. A couple other terms, and we'll wait for Fosh to get back. Justin, we've talked about simping. We've talked about being a fuckboy. Bro, what's a gentleman?
There you go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so when I first started doing YouTube videos, I got a little flack for this, but I believe a gentleman opens doors, he buys dinner, he sends an Uber, he looks her directly in the eyes and tells her the truth. Mm-hmm. Hey, this is how it's going to be. I don't think it's any different than it was 20 years ago, except the fact that a lot of guys, I think, mostly because of red pill type philosophies, think they call it simping. But when I take a girl to dinner, or there's an equal exchange of value. She's actually into me back. I wouldn't take a girl out that wasn't. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being a gentleman. Just like I don't think there's anything wrong with sitting somebody down that you love and telling them that they're getting a little overweight and helping them with it. So it's a fastball right down the pipe. There's nothing tricky about it. Mm-hmm. It's everything you think it is, except with a secure frame of in where the boundaries are. That's it. Yeah.
Got it.
He came on my show and said almost exactly that same thing at one point. Yeah. And remember when Coco was on here and we were talking about like who should pay for the date, right?
Yeah, of course.
And people were like shocked that I was saying, "Oh, yeah, I think men should pay for the date." We came to the same conclusion. She came to differently than I do, but I agree 100% with what Jay's saying in that sense, because it establishes value, it establishes frame, like you're coming into my world, and in my world I pay for your food.
Right.
And
Fosh, welcome back.
There we are.
And
we missed
and
you.
I would add to that, it's not negotiable. Like,
what?
That's not negotiable. I am paying for dinner, and do not open a door around me. I will open the door for you.
Have you ever gotten into an argument with a lady who was a little too?
No, but
I'm paying for dinner. I'll open it. What do you mean?
I haven't. I've never had it. But I tell you what, it's a great way to flirt, and it's a great way to set a playful frame around being masculine. Like, hey, girl, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't you ever open a door around me. Like, I'm opening these doors for you. It makes her feel like a queen, man.
Got it.
So yeah, it's
queen it up. All right, a couple more terms, and let's go to the female terms. Ladies, thoughts on the term sugar daddy? Anyone here ever had a sugar daddy?
No.
Or a sugar mama?
A mama? No.
I don't know.
No.
No? So no strong feelings on sugar daddy? Rollo, you want to break this down scientifically?
It's so normalized now. It's like scary. But it's just a man that is willing to pay a woman's bills
transactional sex.
In return for sex. Yeah.
There's a difference.
For her youth,
The
more so
simp-
her youth.
The simp is like the guy that's not getting the sex in return. Right. The sugar daddy is paying
he's
for it.
He's at least getting it.
Yeah.
How about this?
It's transactional sex versus validation.
Last one, and this is for a friend of mine. He's been called a mama's boy. He's a little too tight with his mom, and the ladies. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, young guy, but he's a little too mama boyish. Ladies' thoughts on someone who's a little too close with their mom. Is it attractive to be close with your mom? Is it unattractive? Thoughts on being a mama's boy?
No, I don't like that. I dated a mama's boy, and it was as if that was the girlfriend. honestly, and it became very, like, I tried to deal with it, but like it became very problematic. Like there would be like yoga classes attended all the time, and like I felt like I was competing with a mother all the time, and it's just like you need to be giving that attention and investing in me.
Kind of like investing resources in another woman.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can
Be a
have
quality
your
time.
mother. Like I don't have a problem with you having your mother, but like when it's like too much, like every
Don't make
day,
it competitive, you're saying.
it's just like a problem. Yeah.
Torshaa?
Yeah, the mom. Usually, when I hear that, the mom is. I don't like to say they have narcissism, but typically the mom has traits of a narcissist and uses their son as like an extension of themselves. So the mom's competing with attention with the son. Like she was saying, I felt like I was competing with the mom. It's because usually the mom's competing with him and he goes with the mom.
That's true too. Another thing that I kind of noticed with that too is like mothers who basically, when their husband leaves and they have sons, they start using their son as that emotional
husband,
as the husband and that emotional support
Sad.
that they're not getting anymore.
Wow. All right. Well, so word to the wise, don't be such a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into some female terminologies that you hear being thrown around. You talked about it, Rollo, when a girl's in her quote unquote hoe phase. So
Not
what's
my
a,
words.
What?
I just
used
work
to,
here,
bro.
man. I just work here.
So what's a hoe? Is that a bad thing? Is that a good
real
thing?
thing.
Is that being a playboy for a guy? What's a hoe, ladies?
I think a hoe is somebody that will sleep with guys. A lot of them think like only because they feel like they cannot keep the guy with their added value. Like they have nothing else to offer. That's what
Their sex and their body's all they
Or
got.
if
like
they
that's
can't
what
get
they lead
validated,
with.
Or
Like
what's that, Justin?
If they can't get validation anywhere else,
yeah. Like I don't know.
They can always pull that trump card.
Yeah.
And
like,
I often think times that's unhealthy for a girl because especially if
Totally.
she's, let's say a girl like the Sports Illustrated girl, I think you'd be surprised at the level of guy that would just sleep with her on a random Tuesday night, and then all of a sudden she thinks she can get that kind of man.
No one's
Yeah.
ugly after 2 a.m. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Right, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's very unhealthy, and I think
Yeah.
it's something that happens quite a bit. If a girl can't get validated elsewhere, there's one thing she can definitely do to get attention.
Validated via sex.
And that's why you see women kind of take control of it on social media, saying, this is my choice to do it. I want to do this. The reality is men and women aren't the same. And we're just teaching women to, I don't know, it goes into a whole thing. I won't keep.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I just think that it's controversial, like to say women shouldn't have a lot of sex with different people. I think it's damaging to women.
I think so too.
We'll go on.
Thank
Fosh.
God. It's like, oh
Fosh,
God.
what is damage? Having sex with too many guys?
I think so because like it's more like an emotional thing. Like like when you start having sex with somebody, like it's an emotional exchange thing, and like if you want to have like a long-term relationship with somebody, that emotional blockage from all of those other things that from sleeping with everybody else, baggage,
heavy.
you're not going to be able to have like a genuine relationship with a man that you want to be with. I feel like
Women's only real agency in this life is their sexuality. The only thing they can count on. That's why you see an old woman here in a swimsuit still thinking she got it, right? Paulina Porzakova, I brought her up not too long ago. When you look at it's one of the reasons why I have a hashtag on Twitter. It's like they always get naked, right? when you go and you see a protest, like the ones that were in like Portland, and the girl's like parading around buck naked, and she's got some guy that's there, and it made the headlines, right? It's like, why is it that that's the default thing? If I want men to pay attention to me, I take my clothes off. I do this on Instagram. I sexualize myself, but at the same time, we're supposed to,
Respect them.
create be the change you want to see in the world, right? Well, what women do when they want to be heard, when they resort to overt communication, it is, let's take my shirt off, let's take my clothes off, because people will pay attention to me when I do that. There's a reason for that. That's the default, because women's only real actionable agency in this life is her sexuality. End of story.
What are your
Full
guys'
stop.
thoughts on this next term, gold digger? Who wants to take it?
A gold digger is the same thing as a fuckboy, but for a woman. So this is a woman that uses a guy strictly for his money, whereas a fuckboy would like use a girl for sex.
Does anybody use that term anymore? Gold digger?
Gold digger? Well,
I
Kanye
think
did.
A gold yeah.
No?
I think
Is a
sounds
gold
pretty
digger?
old.
I think
Is
it's
a gold digger a sugar baby?
yeah.
It's transactional.
I think
No.
yeah.
Transaction?
I think
It's
so.
not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
Why
think
not?
a sugar baby is like a woman who is obviously sleeping with an older man for exchange of her youth and money. I think a gold digger is somebody who wants a man with money that could be older or younger. But I don't think like that's necessarily a problem, because why wouldn't you want a man with money and resources?
Because
money's huge for
she's
you.
using him. She's using the guy. It's like mean.
But
you know,
are you really using a guy if you're called a gold digger? How?
Like if you're, I'm not like he's saying a real gold digger, a girl that only dates guys with a Lamborghini, a big house. If he doesn't buy her this, get out of my life. Like a gold digger, hardcore, not like a sugar baby. They're exchanging something.
Yeah, it's
there.
the terms
Let's
of the transaction.
say I'm not gonna fuck him unless he buys me a Gucci bag. Like you know, like those mean wives on that show or whatever that get the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Like they are like, I literally only married you for your will. You're disgusting and repulsive. It's like horrible. They use men. I don't know. I think it's bad.
I mean,
Shit.
I guess the men like it. They know, they feel it. They're getting used.
What were you gonna say?
The
Jess?
financial domination is something else.
That's a thing. That's really a thing.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? So I asked Justin what a gentleman is. What is the female version of a gentleman? A lady?
A lady.
So is lady the highest upper echelon that a female could be?
And a feminine woman, I think, in today's age. What do you think? You're a guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like what's
I
if
don't
you're a
think
gentleman, what's
yeah.
like the type of person you're looking for? The girl, what is she? A lady, an attractive woman?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So everything you just said, you could add intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a problem with an intelligent woman, especially one that. So one thing that's really important to me, and there's two major things that I think a man looks for. He looks for beauty and loyalty. And I think if you can have a woman that keeps herself and that is loyal and that you can intellectually connect with, you might have a shot at doing something longer than something shorter transactionally than just sex.
Yeah.
Beauty, loyalty, and brains don't hurt.
Brains don't hurt.
Okay.
Coachable.
Coachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break down coachable.
Oh, baby.
It was a nice word for submissive, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coachable, I think it yeah, I don't like to say submissive because I get attacked in the comments in this day and age. So I say coachable.
But what is coachable? Like, do you want a guy to coach you? All right, babe. Listen, here's the deal.
Hell yeah, I do. I'm masculine.
Here's where you're falling off. Here's what I think you can improve upon. He
Yes.
he coach you financially. I think you're missing out on a boat. Like that's he tried to coach you.
Yeah.
Are you going to respond? Are you going to listen to him?
I respect him. I
Okay.
I would respond. Yeah.
You're coachable.
Oh yeah.
What type of woman is not coachable these days?
A woman typically over the age of 35 with a lot of baggage, career woman, with a higher IQ than at least, I don't know,
A woman who
120.
Well, let's look at it for what it
conflates her
is.
I think it's
personal
a
worth with sexual market value.
Right.
It's
I
what?
got
What is
it.
it, Rollo?
She conflates her personal worth with sexual market value. So
I don't give a shit.
What makes her
Right.
valuable, quote unquote, alpha female? That's what she expects men should find attractive. And so
Yeah.
therefore, when she gets to 35 years old, and she's like, "Why am I still alone? Why do I not have babies? Why don't I have I progressed in my life?" It's because you become the man that you wanted to marry.
Like we had with our friend on one other show, if you recall.
Yes.
Final thoughts, Vosh.
So I was gonna say that, like, definitely a woman who's not coachable is somebody who is like extremely masculine. Like they think that they're supposed to be the man. Oh, I'm leading with my money. I have this much money, so I should be able to get this type of guy. And I feel like that's where it's a problem.
You want cooperation in a relationship.
Cooperation.
Yeah.
A couple more topics. This is the most trending topic in the world right now. We got ladies here. I want to get your thoughts on it. We covered it on PBD podcast. And we had a libertarian debate. It was sick. It was
that.
amazing. All the top libertarian candidates. Shout out if you haven't seen that episode on the PBD podcast. And I I dropped a bomb in there. I kind of believed it, but I wanted to hear what these guys would say. I basically said, guys, shut the fuck up. Why are you talking? Let the lady talk.
Why?
And the topic was about abortion.
Of course.
Okay, so everything that is happening right now with Roe versus Wade, we know what's going on right now. Basically, the law of the land is potentially being overturned. You know, the Supreme Court documents were leaked of what they're talking about. Oklahoma, I think, just banned abortions completely, or they're trying to, like, straight up, not even happening, because the debate is it 6 weeks? Is it 12 weeks? Is it 18 weeks? Is it a state thing? Is it a federal thing?
Yeah.
And here's a quote from USA Today. If Roe versus Wade is overturned, established rights like gay marriage and contraception could be at stake. The slippery slope argument. There's a famous author these days, and he wrote, abortion is hypergamy. I believe you wrote
Some
that,
guy
sir.
said that.
I believe you wrote that,
Some
sir.
crackpot, yeah.
Some guy.
Yeah.
So also, there's companies, major corporations out there, Starbucks being one of them, that became the latest company to cover employees' abortion travel costs. Okay, and there's other companies that do that. So, ladies, gentlemen, I mean, you want to start with this, Rollo, since you made that comment, abortion is hypergamy.
So I've been saying
Thoughts
this,
on this?
I've been saying this since 2015, 2014, something like that. Is abortion is the ultimate expression of hypergamy, meaning that there is no there's no more permanent a way that a woman can exercise hypergamy than to like end the guy's, like, say you're not the right guy and end his genetic legacy in utero, right? So what I ask is this: whenever this topic comes up, like, a lot of people get very, very emotional, and you have to separate the emotion from the actual function of why is it that women will fight tooth and nail to keep safe legal abortion? Why is that even such a in a country like Ireland or Argentina, like Catholic countries, overturn it, and now you can get an abortion in those countries, not just in those countries but everywhere around the world. Everybody celebrates it. It's a big party time now, because now we can, and of course, what happens is, on the conservative side, you have a very emotional response, which is it's a moral, ethical, God's going to damn you to hell kind of thing. On the liberal side, it's emotional, because it's a woman's right to choose, and men shouldn't be able to control a woman's body. That's how they cast the whole thing, and so it's an emotional argument versus emotional argument, and somewhere in between there is Rollo Tomassi saying, why is this such a big deal? Why is this even a thing right now? What's the function of abortion? And the true function of abortion is it is a fail-safe against bad reproductive choices. That's what it is. To stop that pregnancy from proceeding. And don't give me the crap about, what about rape? What about incest? Those count for a minute fraction of 1% of the abortions that are performed in this country. That's where you need to start this argument. And too many people, when they're having this debate, it's like it's God versus the godless liberals, and it's like, that's not the point. If you want to, conservatives, if you want to win this debate, start from stats. The stats are there. You have Google, just like I do. That's how I came to this, right? And so if you go and you look at the reasons women give for abortion, something like 98% of them are elective. So they're getting them because of choices that they are making in their lives. And you will hear like famous actresses saying, I got this Golden Globe or this Emmy because I had 3 abortions, and that set me up to be able to do what I want to do, kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, you're just making my point. It is a fail-safe against you having gotten pregnant, and now you can get out. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card.
It's a mulligan.
Exactly. And so let's just call it what it actually is, and let's also look at the stats. Let's also look at the empirical, objective stuff, and stop getting into this one emotionalism versus another emotionalist, because we have to see what is the latent function, what is the purpose of abortion, and that's why I say abortion is the ultimate expression of hypergamy.
Damn.
Wow, you explained that very well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
you'll win the argument if you just stay on the stats.
The higher the value the man, the more likely are they're not going to have the abortion. It's they got fucked up, they slept with the guy, he's kind of not like, do you remember the story where the Drake hot sauce story?
Yeah.
Where the woman tried to insert the used condom because she was like, I'm gonna do the exact opposite of abortion.
That's a Tom that's a Tom Likicism, by the way, is putting hot Tabasco in the
But I'm saying condom. I'm more talking about the girl. That's the anti-abortion. She's trying to get impregnant. Right, by the Drake or the NBA thing. What's the one girl?
Self-insemination.
PJ Washington's girl.
Yeah, Brittany Renner.
Brittany Renner.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so when I'm talking about abortion, I'm talking about this kind of stuff. We can't get away from it without also talking about why is that so imperative? Because we live in a society that we prioritize women's reproductive rights, mating strategies, whatever. We put that at the top of the thing there, and you've got guys out in the streets with their wives and their girlfriends in pink pussy hats, repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And again, the only reason we're even talking about this at this stage is because we're in an election year, and nothing gets the ladies to the polls like claiming that, oh my God, we're going to have, Elizabeth Warren like losing her mind, saying we're going to lose Roe v. Wade if we don't get to the polls and vote for Democrats, right? So
everything's getting politicized.
When I see that, and I look at, like, say the leak from what is the Supreme Court leak, And then you look at it, it's like it's you look at the articles that have been written about this. They say, oh, they took a vote and it's already been you would think that they've already overturned Roe v. Wade. No, it was a draft opinion by the Supreme Court of the United States, and it was leaked, and that was enough to spark all of this conversation that we're having right now.
Of course.
And there's a threat that it might happen. So, but it's not even that. It's the Supreme Court taking it away from the federal government and putting it into the states and making it state by state.
Yeah.
Which is why you get other companies like Amazon and you get Microsoft and Tesla, Starbucks are saying, hey, don't worry, ladies, we got you. We got you, fam, right? If you're in an abortion state, they're already predicting that this is going to happen.
Should these corporations stay out of the abortion issue
they're not
or
going
social
to.
issues?
Women are the biggest consumers.
Well, no, it's even worse than that because ladies, if you think that this is a good thing or like Starbucks has got your back or Amazon or whoever, they don't have your back because it's cheaper to give you $3,000 or $4,000 to go and have you cross state lines, have an abortion in an abortion state, and come back and stay employed at that particular business than it is for you to get pregnant or quit your job and relocate to those states because you want to be in an abortion state. Because if you think about the cost,
employee retention is what they're focused on.
Think about the costs. So when a woman gets pregnant, that's the number one reason why women quit the workforce because they got the baby, right? And then
let's just talk about that for a second.
And then
corporations are looking at their bottom line.
They are not your friends.
Wow.
They are lying to
Rollo
you.
is dropping some truth bombs out there.
Cheaper.
So it's an economic decision. If we want to talk about economics, how are we going to steer this that way? That is the reason why these companies are putting this out there right now because it's also firing. Get to the polls, ladies. But it's cheaper for a company to maintain and keep those. It's like
Women.
egg freezing. Like what is it? I think Facebook or Fortune 500 companies.
They allow you to freeze your eggs and pay
as
for
part
it.
of the benefit package for like middle management and up. You can freeze your eggs. They don't want you to breed. They want you to be in front.
They want you to keep working. Keep working right there.
Rollo, I really want to add something to that.
60%. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, with that said, doesn't it financially make sense for our country to drive men and women apart from a taxpayer perspective?
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Why is that?
Well, if you have a family and you have a strong man in the family, more than likely the woman's going to stay home and raise that baby instead of work.
Yeah.
So why don't we just nip it in the bud and divide them? So
And
there's a lot of economy tied up with we have twice the taxpayer options now.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and drive men and women apart and go ahead and get rid of that nuclear family? Would you say that's a massive
I would say
part of the
so, and
economy?
I'd say we were already on the way there. I think I've mentioned this once before. It was Morgan Stanley did their, I think it was 2019 when they did the, Rise of the She Economy, and it was a message and was a whole thing that was done for investors. And one of the projections that they made was that women between the ages of 25 and 44 would be single. 42% or 45% of women by 2030 would be single and childless in that demographic, and they're already making projections for that, so that like guys can go, okay, well, I'm going to plan my business plans around this because there's going to be more single women. So, and the joke is, of course, invest in like boxed wine and Chewy or something like
exactly.
that. But it's more than that. You can, but imagine what you would do if you would invest in cryogenic ovum freezing, right?
Want to take it to another level.
If you want to invest, forget Chewy, look into like egg freezing. Look into anything that promotes sort of like fear of missing out for women, of course, but also anything that promotes the idea that women have longer than they do to actually have to reproduce, to have a baby, to have fertility. Those kinds of investments going forward, according to Morgan Stanley, would be wise investments for people who are putting money into the market.
Yeah.
Uncle Rollo drops some truth bombs. Hope you guys are listening. Ladies, I really want to get your perspective here. Would you go, Fosh, or do you want to go, Tori?
I was going to say what Rollo said, the she economy thing, and 60% of women are in universities now. Why wouldn't you cater to them? They're going to be your workers. The men, there's less of them there.
So the corporations are more concerned about these women working, not having kids, not raising babies. Stay working, girl. We'll pay for your abortions because it's a lot cheaper than paying for a headhunter, bringing on onboarding new talent, recruiting, all that.
They want us to do both. Remember that because of our birth rates. They want us to. They want us to do both. They're getting rid of abortions, okay? But I don't know. It just feels like we're
conflicting message.
slaves.
Who's they want us to do both?
The corporations.
Well, the corporations clearly want us to have abortions. They're paying for abortions.
No, they don't want us to have abortions.
Well, they don't want you to have kids.
Oh, I thought they wanted us to have kids.
No, that's the whole point.
That's
They're
the whole
paying for
point.
abortions.
They're paying for abortions to go
No,
across.
I know the corporations, but I'm saying the whole like controversy is that they're getting rid of Roe and Wade, which means to allow it to go in per state. So a state can decide if they want to have it or
Right.
not. But I'm saying it was before that abortions were legal federally, right? So
Well, it
now,
still is.
Right.
But
But in
certain
the
states are
future-
taking over.
Yeah, and in the future, if they get rid of it, okay, now women are going to have the babies, which is fine. Like,
If they're in a non-abortion state, that is. Yeah.
Right, but let's say that they all follow suit or something, like on the extreme end. But I don't know. So it's like they want us to have babies. They want us to also be in the workforce. I don't know.
That's conflicting.
Fosh, final thoughts on abortion. Go ahead, give us your 2 cents.
My final thoughts is that I think everyone should do what is best for their life.
What if it's like 9 months long? Do you think it's murder?
I do think it's murder.
Yeah, I think most Americans see after a certain point that it's murder.
Well, I think it's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much accepted. Third trimester, hell no.
It's
If a baby-
The debate-
Colorado, you can do that.
That's
If
insane
a baby
to me.
has a heartbeat, and I think that's.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a
that's
question
murder,
then?
yeah.
Because I asked this of Matt Walsh, and he still has. I'm still waiting for the call, Matt.
A uterus.
If you think that abortion is murder, I'm not trying to put you on the spot because you're not the first person to say this by any means. But if you believe that abortion is murder and they overturn Roe v. Wade, or like let's just say for the most draconian thing happened, right? They said no more. If you have an abortion, should that woman be tried for murder? Murder
No,
of
so
what?
what
sorry.
I was gonna say.
Or should
she
the
asked-
doctor be?
The doctor, that's
But
the
the
big-
doctor's the hitman. The one who calls out the hit is the woman, and the guy has no say. He has no seat at the table, lady, because he has no uterus. So it's really on the woman who makes the final decision whether or not that kid lives or dies. Who okay? So the doctor's an accomplice, let's just say. But the person who calls that out, if you call a hit out on somebody and they kill him, you're still on the hook for that murder as well because it's premeditated.
Accomplice.
But right now, like they're even saying that 6 weeks ahead is not enough for them to decide. And if a doctor has to make the decision to get rid of to have an abortion, or it's going to kill the mother, let's say, if you want to go that argument, the doctor made the decision, not necessarily the woman. So now there's an argument. Well, are doctors going to go to trial for murder? Like, because there's no clear lines.
The doctor is not making the choice. The woman is making the choice.
No, like let's say the woman wants to keep the baby, but she's about to die. And the doctor says, should we let her live or the baby? What do you think? Should the woman? I don't know.
The life of the mother.
I don't know. This
That's
is
a
an
crazy
argument.
Those are
thing.
very
It-
rare occasions, but I would also
No.
say this is like right now is the way the law stands is if you kill a pregnant woman, you're on the hook for two
Yeah, that's
two
true.
murders
Right.
right now.
But this does happen a lot where they're like, it's not a small percentage. Like women will have like sepsis. It's actually like a larger amount. Somebody just went to jail because they they saved the mom and not the baby. So,
Oh,
You know?
good news. We're not going to end this debate today, but I want to. You said something going to jail, and this is actually our last topic of the day, and then we're going to wrap this up. If you have not subscribed to Valuetainment, go ahead and do so now. Valuetainment Money. Everyone here, Justin, Torshaa, Rollo, and soon to be Fosh. Their YouTube channels are below. Subscribe to the channel. Your mom's a hoe. There it is. A couple bad boys are dealing with some, let's just call it legal issues. Some are getting out of jail. Some potentially are going to jail. Some are in jail. Some are facing jail time. So we're just going to do kind of rapid fire here. And these are names that are in the news right now. And we're just going to do a roundtable quick thing. What are your thoughts on these people? Are they a bad boy? Are they a douchebag? Are they a scumbag? Are they a player? Who are these people? So the first one is this. Are you familiar with the Fire Festival?
Oh, yeah.
This guy, Billy McFarland. Do you familiar with this guy?
I saw the
So-
documentary.
No
put it
idea.
We
that
all
way.
know the Fire Festival. Billy McFarland, I think he's in his early 30s. He just got out of jail, early release from jail. We have images for this young man. Billy McFarland, here he is. I think scammed, $20 million off investors, possibly even more. What is this gentleman? Is he a scumbag? Is he a criminal? Is he a douchebag? Is he a bad boy? Who wants to go?
he's like the male equivalent of Elizabeth
Warren.
The one
no,
with Theranos.
Oh, yes.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Elizabeth Holmes. Okay.
Yeah. So it was like I mean, that this is isn't this common for them to scam people? I don't know.
He's a hustler. He's actually I would compare him more to like. Are you familiar with Anna Sorokin?
No.
Oh yeah,
from
he's like that,
yeah,
like Tinder
from,
swindler.
Well,
guy.
yeah,
Tinder
Tinder
swindler.
swindler. Anna
Okay.
Sorokin was there's a great Netflix documentary on her. How she's just this regular girl from Russia. She comes over to the United States, stays here like illegally because she has no visa, stays here, and she was only like 22 years old, and she spends her whole life basically hustling very, very rich guys to the point where she was getting bank loans so she could start this sort of art, club kind of thing that was in
Social
New York.
light.
And she was this close to actually getting it.
They always are, Rollo. They're always this close.
And so
and then you get caught.
It's like guys like this, and then women like this too, because you could say, well, the bad vegan, that other girl, and a Tinder swindler's another example. Is all they did was they hustled and they played the game well enough. They knew they were good students of human nature to the point where they could get to where
this guy was, I guess, smooth with it, but
this guy is like a perfect example of came from money but also knew how to make it. So women they might say they wouldn't be into him, they would.
Women would be into this guy
For sure, because you can tell that he knew how to kind of
That's what I wanted to know.
Manipulate, mastermind.
Is there something sexy
he
about
knows how to
that?
Fuck
maneuver?
yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, I'll speak for most women that will not admit to it.
And what is sexy about that?
That they have the ability, Rollo says it better, it's like emotional intelligence. It's like, right? It's like they might not, if they don't come from money, they know how to make it.
Got it.
He comes from money, but also knew how to get it.
dark triad
Dark
trait.
triad,
Dark personality.
Okay, let's pull up this next guy. Do you know who Martin Shkreli is, a.k.a. the Pharma Bro? He basically created an AIDS pill, marked it up thousands of percentage. He's in the news, the new Wu-Tang documentary, because he bought the original Wu-Tang album, something, but he just got out of jail. But something tells me this guy ain't as hot as Billy McFarland. Thoughts?
You knew what you were doing, and I hate you.
Yes, I know.
Because you're going to make the black pill guys come at me for this one. The difference is this guy's ugly. I'll speak for them.
Okay.
But yeah, like he definitely... I want to say creep vibes, and they're gonna run with that. But like that bottom one looks like
which one?
That
right there,
one, the smiling.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
Men don't smile. You have to smile with your eyes. Okay,
smize, I believe what they call it. Smize.
Smize, yeah.
So you're big on creepy guys,
like,
not big on like you call out creepy guys all the time.
Yeah.
Is this guy giving you creepy vibes?
Yeah, he's giving creep vibes.
He
very
looks
much
hot
so.
down there, though.
Which one?
There he looks better.
When he's not smiling.
Right.
So he's
Like a
creepier when he
star.
smiles.
Where did it go? Where did that picture
smile.
go? Not that one. There, the bottom.
That one right there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he looks better in that black one when he's straight faced, but
Yeah, like the glasses.
So the difference
don't do
between-
it, homie. Like,
So, Torshaa, the difference between Billy McFarland, convicted criminal, fraudster, Ponzi schemer, is that he's a little more attractive. This guy,
he looks hot there.
Really?
He looks hot there.
So the hotter you are, the
It's
more
okay.
you're willing to deal with on the scumbag
Dark
level.
forgiving you
triad.
are.
The
I think
dark
so.
triad.
I think that's what
Really?
I think that's what anybody though, like women too. I feel
Hypergamy,
like-
baby.
Of course, it's only in the eye of the beholder, right? Wrong.
Wrong. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I bet
Okay.
Be the change you want to see in the universe, ladies.
The fuck out of here.
It's like,
there's-
no.
There's another gentleman that I want to get your ladies' thoughts on. I know this guy was pretty big time in the news for a while. I mean, in the movies. In the movies, and now he's on trial or dealing with a trial.
Yeah.
Heard about the wife like pooping in the bed or something like that. That's pretty much what I've seen on social media.
Chris Brown now has a resident story. Just pull up Chris Brown.
Fuck that guy.
Would you ever deal with a Chris Brown, successful
No.
guy, big time artist, but alleged?
You are.
Report domestic
Way to take a
violence.
stance, Fosh. Really, who supports that?
No, I'm saying,
Guys,
like,
I'm gonna
I'm
put
not
my
saying-
foot down. I
I'm
don't
not
support
saying-
domestic violence here.
I would look up the police.
Eat me anytime he
It's
wants.
terrible what he did, you know,
That's
women-
crazy, guys. Listen, we're taking a stance on the hard issues. We do not agree or support with domestic violence on the Soscast or on Valuetainment. Straight up, I don't care what you guys have to say. Last gentleman that I want to get your thoughts on. He's not in jail. He's not being released from jail. I don't think he has any legal problems. But homie has some issues, and I'm talking about Will Smith these days. So when you think of what's happening with Will Smith, is he still the man? Can he still get it? Is he now a beta?
He's got to dump the
He's
wife.
always been a bit.
If he files suit, he's gonna lose so much money. I know. Like he could take it back. I think he could get out of a relationship with that bitch.
Okay, and then if he was
Ruining
single,
him.
if he was single, would he still be as attractive as ever? Is that the best thing for his career to go single?
No, I didn't.
Maybe I'll go around the table here. Words to live by, right? Anything you say, hey, I gotta tell you guys out there, best advice for the entrepreneurs, the young. 90% of our audience is male, and then what you think is the biggest red flag and the biggest green flag to look for in a relationship. So best advice, biggest red flag, and biggest green flag in a relationship. Okay. Justin, you want to go first?
Sure. If it's mostly fellas, I'll just tell you simply, nobody's going to be able to define what you should be able to have in your life better than you. So number one, first and foremost, do everything you can to create a scenario in your life where you have control of it. And for that reason, you have choice. Because what you want in life is choice. You want it, whether you want one wife that you come home to every night or you want 50 girlfriends, you want choice in your life. And that's also in your career. You want choice. You do not want to go to a job that you don't love. You do not want to go to a job that you feel like you can't be your best man in. So find choice. In regards to a red light and a green light with a woman.
Red flag, green flag. Yeah, sure. Red light,
green flag. I would say find a woman that you feel like can look up to you, that you can be the man, because no man wants a woman that he cannot save from a castle and a dragon. It takes all the goodness out of love. And if you can't find a woman that you can save from a castle and a dragon, you're probably barking up the wrong tree. So find a woman you can do that with. She can be happy and you can be happy, and you'll have choice.
There you go.
Talking about mental strength.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I said the best day of your life is the day that you realize that nobody's coming to save you.
That's my advice.
Yeah.
And then
What's your advice?
what he said.
The best.
When you realize that,
what was the Forbes thing?
He said it in Forbes. I was like, it was.
I said they were asking me about mental health and leadership and business, and we kind of went back and forth, but I wouldn't come off of it. I said the best day of your life is the day that you realize that nobody's coming to save you. And I feel like that's true mental freedom.
Yeah.
Because you have the ball. So if you don't want the ball in Game 7, then you need to fight until you do.
Respect.
I think it's like a better way to say for men to kind of man up, but in a way that's conducive to them and not women. Manning, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But a red flag in men, I hate that word. I don't know. A green flag would be a guy that says no. Somebody who holds their ground. I don't know what a red flag, I guess, would be a guy that lets me dictate where we go.
That's why you hate simp so much, Tori.
Fucking hate him.
Fosh, go ahead. Let's go you, and then we'll wrap up with our friend Rollo here. Words to live by that men should understand, and then red flag, green flag in relationship.
I was just going to say a quote that I really like. It's do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. So basically it's like learn from your previous mistakes and just like make better decisions. When it comes to green flags, I would definitely say for men is a man who is competent, who can who's good at communicating and is just smart. Competence. And then a red flag, I would say, is disrespect. Thanks.
She ain't putting up with disrespect. All right, final word to the man who actually put the whole panel together today. Yeah. Rollo, best words of advice, red flag, green flag.
I mean, it's the quote I'm most known for, which is you cannot negotiate genuine desire. And that also that's going to speak to red flags and green flags as well. But what I mean by that is that you observing a process will change the process. So if you get into positions where you are negotiating for a woman's desire for you, it's never going to be genuine in the first place. She has to be the one who's coming to you rather than like you being trying to convince her into desiring you and wanting to do the things that you think she ought to do. So that can come down, like we would talk about that this whole show, like when we were talking about the Peloton thing and what would you do if she said, do I look fat in these jeans? It comes down to, does she really, honestly, organically, genuinely want to be with you? Is there a desire, or does she feel obligated to do those things?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to tell a woman, you got to get in shape. I don't want to have to tell a woman, take your pictures off of Instagram. You should want to do that already because I'm the one that you want to be with in the first place. And if I have to do that in the first place, now I'm negotiating desire for you. And so if you do it, it just becomes, like you take them off the Instagram or whatever else, now it becomes obligated compliance. I would much rather see a woman who take it upon herself to get to know you, get to know me, and naturally have a desire for me to be within that frame, to be in the world that you create. So she wants to come in instead of like, come here. That's why I think when people talk about game or the red pill, they think of it as being very manipulative. Yeah. And it's not. It's descriptive. It's not manipulative. And so when I say, loving you for, something that you aren't, which we just talked about in this show as well today, which is, women hate a liar. They hate a guy who's manipulative. They hate to have guys, I don't want a game player. Yeah, well, you don't want a game player. But the thing is that you don't want that full disclosure either. You still want to be playing the game, but you still want to know that the guy knows how to play that game. And that comes from a woman who genuinely wants to be wrapped up in your world and be in your frame in the first place. So that's my worldly advice for you. You cannot negotiate genuine desire, and you have to base your opinion on what's a red flag and what's a green flag based upon, is this woman making rules for me because she feels, like you'll be good enough if you do these things, or is she breaking rules for me because she has a genuine, intense desire for me, either to please me or to be part of my life, to be part of my frame. Asking yourself those questions: is she making rules for me, or is she breaking rules for me? And that is where you'll find the red flags and the green flags in the making of rules or the breaking of rules. What will she do that's out of the ordinary just for you? Will she help you bury the body? Will she help cover up for you? Will she go skydiving with you after you've packed her parachute for the first time? Like, does she trust you with her life? That comes from an innate, natural desire, like a genuine desire for that guy. And too many guys are living in conditions and in marriages right now. If you want to know where the problems in your marriages are right now, it's because it's not a trust issue, it's a desire issue. Does she really want to be with you, or does she feel like she has to be with you? And determining that will tell you what's a red flag and what's a green flag.
Sick, Rollo. This is one of my favorite shows I think we've done so far. Yeah. Justin, you're a fucking stud,
and we dressed up for it too.
Yeah, Justin, thank you for being here, bro.
I'm glad to be here.
Torshaa, I'm glad we found you, hangover style. We found Doug, our vibes.
Not hungover.
Fosh, I'm a big fan.
Yes.
I think you crushed it today. And Rollo, we're just happy you're here, bro.
Yep.
Straight up.
Great having you.
For everyone listening, I always try to remind myself, we're not the heroes. We're the guide. You guys are the hero of your own story. Like Justin said, no one is coming to save you. You got to do this shit yourself. We can teach you, we can tell you everything, but you got to go ahead and do it yourself. You listening to us here at Valuetainment, you're going to get paid, and you're going to get laid, and you're going to do your things your way. And that's what we're doing. We're here for you. Hey. So again, if you have not subscribed to Valuetainment, please do so now. Make love to that like button, or
have
what do you?
Sex with it.
Go have sex on that like button, smash, and we will see you guys.
Or
your mom's a hoe. Subscribe. Thank you guys for being here. Now we're gonna go party. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.